First pitch, the right-hander delivers, and it's outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 35th game of the season for the Falcons, 34 for the Beavers. ARC at 4-29. And they've got the single win in conference play. Here's Timmons delivering, and it's fouled off by Chris Catalano, a sophomore right fielder out of Folsom High School, leading off a .291 average for Chris, a home run and 21 runs batted in. Next pitch, a fastball, looked pretty good, but it misses, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike, and I want to commend right away. It starts complaining right away. The Folsom Lake College designer who came up with this fastball is just a little high, 3-1. Came up with this color scheme of black pants and jerseys and purple numbers. So, I mean, I guess that's a really striking combination, but I have no idea what number Chris is. That one is down low for a ball. And he goes down to first wearing number 0, it looks like, on his back. So he is at first base with nobody out. And that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Andrew Neal, the second baseman. Andrew from Freedom High School, also a sophomore, hits from the left-hand side, bats .267, 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. We welcome the viewers on ARC Athletics YouTube and Stones Radio Network YouTube and the listeners on the Mixler app. Timmons with Catalano leading off first. The pitch on the way, that is down low for a ball. So called strikes, a scarcity right now as we get started here. I saw the umpire before the game down downstairs. I said, keep it fair, Blue. That's what I said to him, and I thought that was pretty classy. I could have offered him some cash. I did not. There goes the runner. The pitch is in there for a strike. The throw to second by Herford. The tag is applied, and he is under the tag. A nice throw by Herford behind the plate as Dillon guns it down to the shortstop Eels. Not in time, and Catalano gets the steal. And it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Andrew Neal. That's hit sharply to the right of first base into the right field for a base hit. Catalano's coming around third. The play is bobbled out in right field, picked up, and going into second base is Neal. He'll get himself an RBI single, and he'll go to second on the bobble out in right field, and we're underway. 2 batters in, and there's a run in, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Falcons. Air will have to be charged on the play to Jonas Diaz out in right field as he bobbled it and allowed Neal to get to second base. And here's J.T. Walden. J.T. is sophomore from Christian Brothers, the left-handed hitter, batting .375. 7 home runs, 39 runs batted in. First pitch is high and inside to J.T. The left-handed hitter is 4th in home runs. He is 5th in RBI. And he is 8th in batting average in the Big 8 Conference. Big left-handed hitter playing at first base for the Falcons today. Neal leads off at second base. Next pitch is down low for a ball, 2-0 to J.T. Walden. Stones McCoy and I have the pleasure of doing the Lincoln Potters games over the summer, and J.T. played for the Potters last year, had a tremendous season to set himself up for another tremendous season he's having here at the community college level. Wind blowing from right to left here this afternoon at Beaver Field. 2-0 pitch. He hits that one high up in the air to center field and well. Going back is Ott, still going back. Reaches up and can't get it. It's over the fence. A home run for J.T. Walden. Dominic Ott makes a tremendous try out there, but J.T. Walden hits it out in deepest part of the ballpark. He grabs 2 runs batted in. His 8th home run of the season gives him 41 runs batted in. That moves him up those conference ranks, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Falcons. Straightaway center field just to the right of the .390 mark, and Dominic Ott was all over that one, just barely misses it. The base umpire was out in short center field, and he made the call right away. Check swing in there for a strike on Logan Sutter, who was coming in at .369 with 6 home runs and 45 runs batted in. Logan, a sophomore from Del Oro, swings and misses at that one, and he's fallen behind 0-2. Sutter 3rd in the conference in runs batted in with those 45, and he's down 0-2 now. Swing and miss on a ball in the dirt picked up by Herford. He's going to get it down to first base, and the first out is recorded, a strikeout of Logan Sutter, and that will bring up Nate Vargas. Nate, the DH today, freshman. Left-handed hitter stepping in here. Freshman out of Whitney. Another impressive batting average. This one 372 and 40 runs batted in for Nate. And he takes that one on the inside corner for a strike. 3 home runs on the year. So a walk to Catalano, an RBI single for Neal, and then a 2-run home run by J.T. Walden. Puts the Falcons up 3-0. That's hit high in the air on the infield. Druck's going to call for it. No, Darren Eels will call him off and catch it in short, very short center field for the second out. So 2 down very quickly with Sutter and Vargas, and Drake DiGiorno is going to come to the plate. The shortstop batting at .338 on the year. Another sophomore from Folsom High School steps in, right-handed hitter against the right-hander Connor Timmons. Drake 2 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Timmons from the windup. That one's fouled off over to our right. 0-1 on DiGiorno. He's followed in the lineup by Wyatt Reganado, the left fielder. DiGiorno, the shortstop. That's a high fastball, so evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Remainder of the order, Drake Bicknell, the catcher, hitting 8th, and Brett Griffiths is the center fielder. He bats in the number 9 spot. Cameron Sasso is the pitcher for Folsom today. That's in the dirt, 2-1. Here's the 1-1. That's right down the middle for a strike. 1-2, excuse me. Defensively, make that 2-2. Defensively, Jake Morrell's at first, Ryland Druck at second, Darren Eels at short, Anthony Packard at third. That one is a little bit high. Julian Blackwell on left, Dominic Ott in center, Jonas Diaz out in right. We have a 3-2 count. Dylan Herforth behind the plate, and Connor Timmons on the mound. 3-2 pitch in the dirt, ball 4. And DiGiorno will take the base on balls. Second walk of the inning issued by Timmons, and that'll bring up Wyatt Reganado, the left fielder, batting 7th but hitting .387 on the season. 4th in the conference. 2 home runs and 34 runs batted in. Left-handed hitter. Sophomore from West Valley. And he stands up here with 2 outs. 3 in and 1 on. In the top of the first. Pretty good lead over at first base by DiGiorno, and throw over there by Timmons, a quick throw. And Morrell puts the tag on, but just a little bit too late. And DiGiorno is back. Timmons to the plate. It's a line drive into short left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Moving around second, DiGiorno, he'll take it to third. The throw's coming to third, and it's cut off by Eels, and staying at first base is Wyatt Reganado. So the .387 hitter lines a base hit to left center. First and third now. Third hit of the inning. First and third, and Drake Bicknell, the catcher, coming to the plate. 286 for Drake. No home runs, but he has driven in 9 runs. Sophomore at a Jesuit high school. A lot of sophomores on this Folsom Lake College team. And Bicknell waits. That is in there for a strike from Connor Timmons, 0-1. Number 9 hitter is Brett Griffiths. He's on deck. As the Falcons have runners at first and third. And 2 outs here in the first. That's it high up in the air on the infield. Timmons is going to call for it, but Anthony Packard comes over, calls him off, and makes the catch by the pitcher's mound. 3 runs, 3 hits, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the first. The Falcons 3, the Beavers coming to bat.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student-athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We'd love to see you.
Now back to the action right here on Stone's Radio Network.
Coming back to Beaver Field, bottom of the first. Falcons score 3 times in the top, keyed by the 2-run home run by J.T. Walden. Cameron Sasso, another Lincoln Potter, coming out to take the mound for Folsom Lake College here in the bottom of the first. 3-0 on the season, a 3.42 ERA for the sophomore from McKinleyville. 26 and a third innings pitched, 30 strikeouts and just 7 base on balls for Cameron. He will face a lineup that starts off with Dominic Ott in center field, and then Ryland Druck, the second baseman, Julian Blackwell, the DH. Those are the first 3 to face Sasso. Wyatt Balke's in the cleanup spot today, the left fielder. Jonas Diaz in right field, then Jake Morrell, the first baseman. Those are the next 3. The bottom 3 batting 7th, Darren Eels, the shortstop. Anthony Packard at third base, and Dylan Herforth behind the plate. Connor Timmons, as we said, the pitcher for the Beavers today. So it'll be Dominic Ott, Ryland Druck, and Julian Blackwell when Cameron Sasso is through with his warm-up tosses. We've got a nice day here, but a little bit of overcast, and the sun, got clouds coming in for the sun intermittently, and now that just had a situation where it was dark on the mound and light at the plate, and it's kind of like a monster movie, but not really, and I'm a little scared, but Stones is here, so it's okay. I'm calm. When he's around, I'm very calm, and I'm ready to go, although it is a little creepy. Here's Dominic Ott, the sophomore from Wood Creek, playing out in center field. A home run, 10 runs batted in, and a .258 batting average for Dominic as he settles in against Cameron Sasso. Both players played for the Potters last summer. Dominic had a real good run right at the beginning of the summer out of Wood Creek High School. First pitch is coming in, and he fakes the bunt, pulls it back. It's ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Sasso from the windup, hit sharply out towards second base, picked up out there by Neal, over to first base for the out. So Andrew Neal picks up the hard hit ground ball by Dominic Ott, gets it over to first. 1 out, here's Ryland Druck. 225 for Ryland. Freshman out of Roseville, and yes, Grandma Druck is in attendance today, so bravo. Came up and said a few nice words to me and praised me and gave me credit for a lot of things that were really Stones' doing, but I took credit for him. He hits that ball right out toward Andrew Neal again. This time Neal comes in a little bit, gets it over to first, and gets Ryland by a step and a half. So 2 straight ground balls to second base. I guess we should introduce the remainder of the infield besides Andrew Neal. At first base, J.T. Walden with the 2 putouts so far. Drake DiGiorno at short. Logan Sutter at third. Wyatt Reganato in left. Brett Griffiths in center. Chris Catalano in right. Drake McNell behind the plate. And again, Cameron Sasso on the mound. Here's Julian Blackwell. East Side High in Antelope Valley for Julian. 220 on the year. The sophomore has 8 runs batted in. Hitting in the number 3 spot for Coach Jay and the Beavers today. Waits for the 1-0 from Sasso. Swings and misses at a fastball. 1-1 on Julian Blackwell. Wyatt Balke on deck, the cleanup hitter today for ARC. Here's Sasso's 1-1. That's grounded foul over the dugout on the right side, right field side, and rolls off into the picnic area. The trails over there, beautiful area over there. Nice trees and stuff, look like a park. 1-2. Big breaking ball stays high. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Julian Blackwell. Falcons scored 3 times in the top of the inning. Beavers with a couple of ground balls to second base, trying to get something started here off the right-hander Cameron Sasso. That one is just a little bit high again. Takes the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Julian Blackwell. These two teams meet on Thursday over at Folsom Lake and are back here on Saturday for the 3rd game of the series. That is in the dirt, ball 4. So Blackwell gets the base on balls from Sasso, just the 8th that Cameron has given up this season. And here's Wyatt Balky. Wyatt, the left fielder today, hitting at .234. 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in for Wyatt. Freshman from Wood Creek High steps in there against Cameron Sasso. Blackwell short lead at first base. Jonas Diaz to follow. There goes Blackwell. Pitch is grounded foul down the third base line by the dugout, and so Julian will just round it up and take it on back to first base. And it's an 0-1 count on Wyatt Balky. So 2 home games this week for the Beavers, 2 home games for them next week as they take on Sac City in the final series of the season. That's hit sharply right at Andrew Neal. Big hop. He flips it over to short. Stepping on second base for the force out, and that's the end of the bottom of the first. We go to the 2nd inning. The Falcons lead at 3-0.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Connor Timmons out for his 2nd inning of work. As the Falcons lead at 3-0, they'll send up Brett Griffiths, number 9 hitter, then the top of the order, Chris Catalano and Andrew Neal. As Folsom Lake, 3 runs in the top of the first. A couple of hard hit balls for the Beavers in the bottom of the first, but all of them right at second baseman Andrew Neal. Going over the ARC defense again, Julian Blackwell is in left field. Dominic Ott in center. Jonas Diaz over in right. Anthony Packard at third. Darren Eels, the shortstop. Ryland Druck at second base today, and Jake Morrell at first. Behind the plate is Dylan Herforth and Connor Timmons on the mound against the Folsom Lake College Falcons, who are 25-9 on the year and 13-8 in conference play. And they will send Griffiths up to the plate. To start off the top of the 2nd inning, Brett's a freshman out of Jesuit, hitting at 143 on the season with 5 runs batted in. Right-handed hitter settles in against Timmons with Catalano and Neal to follow. Next week, Tuesday and Friday, the home games against Sac City. We will be here for them. First pitch is grounded down the third baseline. Packard has it right by the base. Anthony guns it across the diamond and got him by a half a step. Nice play, Anthony Packard, getting Griffiths by just the smallest of margins over there at first base as he hustled his way down the line. That's 1 out. And here's Chris Catalano, who started the rally in the first inning by drawing a base on balls from Connor Timmons. So he later scored on the single from Andrew Neal. Chris at 291. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and it is a ball down low. So it's 1-0 as Packard came in from third base. Jake Morrell down at first base playing behind the bag. Timmons from the windup quickly with a pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Andrew Neal to follow. Already been very busy in this game with 3 assists and an RBI single. 1-1 pitch looked good down low a little bit. So it goes to 2 balls and 1 strike on Chris Catalano. Sophomore out of Folsom High School, wearing number 0 for the Falcons. Hits that one well to left field. Blackwell moving over, reaches up and can't get it. It's over his head, going to the wall. Going to second is Catalano. He's going to try for third. The relay throw comes in. It's going to be just a little bit late. It's a triple for Chris Catalano. Hit that one just very sharply. Blackwell went to his left. Nothing he could do about it. It's over his head. Ran it down and got it into Darren Eales. The throw to third to Anthony Packard just a little bit too late as Catalano never hesitated going around first or second and made it into third with the triple. Fourth hit for the Falcons, and it'll bring up Andrew Neal, who had an RBI single his last time up. You're going to check, I think, Anthony Packard down at third base and make sure that in the tag as he wasn't spiked or anything like that. He looks to be okay, but they're checking him out down at third base. As Catalano delivers the one-out triple. Neal hit the base hit to right field in the first inning. Was misplayed out there by Jonas Diaz, so Neal able to go to second base. He drove in Catalano with the base hit. That's Neal's 15th RBI of the season. Left-hand hitting second baseman out of Freedom High School, another sophomore, also listed as a pitcher on the roster for the Falcons, who are looking, as we said earlier, to close out their conference season with these 3 games against American River and sit down and wait for the other team. I believe it's Sarah and Santa Rosa, 2 of the teams ahead of them, are playing each other this week in a 3-game series. So Falcons are just going to wait till the dust clears. Delta also in the trio of teams above Folsom in the standings in the Big 8 Conference as they vie for a league title and also for playoff seeding. Last year, I think the Big 8 sent 5 teams, I think, to the playoffs, maybe 6. Another strong season for Big 8 Conference teams this year. So here we're ready to go. Pitch to Neal is down in the dirt. Nice block by Dylan Herford, keeping it from getting away and allowing Catalano to advance the 90 feet necessary to tally another run for the Falcons. 1 ball and no strikes on Andrew Neal. J.T. Walden on deck. That one in the dirt again and blocked by Herford. That one actually wasn't in the dirt. That bounced in front of the plate, and Dylan had to get down in front of it. So it's quickly 2-0 on Neal here in the top of the second inning. Hits it sharply to the left of second base. Druck, nice play. He throws to first. Did he get him at first? No, the ball bounces away. What a play by Ryland Druck. He spun in short right field and gunned it over to Morrell, but it was on a hop, and it gets away from Jake over at first base. It'll be an infield hit for Neal and another RBI as Catalano scores easily. And it is now 4-0 in favor of the Falcons. Just a great stab going to his left by Druck. Does the pirouette and guns it to first, just a little bit off. And Neal was down there quickly running from the left side. And also from the left side, here's J.T. Walden. Throw over to first base, and Neal is back. Walden let a couple go by his first at bat, then hit one out to dead center field over the leap of Dominic Odd out there in the first inning for a 2-run home run. That's JT's 8th on the season, gives him 41 runs batted in. Timmons' pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, a fastball. 0-1 on J.T. Walden. Wearing number 34, purple numbers on black jerseys. Yeah, I can read that. That's no problem. Throw over to first base again. Did they get him? No, they didn't, but it had Neal leaning a little bit the wrong way. And he gets back in here. Walden steps out, steps back in. He throws over to first again, and Neal is back in under the tag as Walden waits patiently at home plate. And I get to look at the black and purple combination, which reminds me of a Black Sabbath album cover in the early 70s. I'll have to look it up. There's the pitch. It is outside. Timmons came set very quickly on that one. I thought there might be a lack of hesitation there as he came set, but no call made by the umpire, who's like 10 feet away from him, so he has a pretty good view. And JT took that pitch for a ball. Line drive, that's a base hit into right field. Going to his Left is Diaz. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Here comes Neal around. He's going to score easily. J.T. Walden headed for third. Relay throw is going to be a little bit too late. He goes in head first. It's an RBI triple for Walden, his third RBI of the game, and it's a 5-0 lead for the Falcons. Just drilled down the right field line. Diaz had nothing to do. He went to his left, and it was already by him all the way to the fence. Neal scores easily, and Walden head first slide into third ahead of the throw. So he's got himself a home run and a triple and 3 runs batted in. And here's Logan Sutter, who struck out his first time back in the first inning. He lines that one into center field. Ott's coming in, still coming in. He's going to make the catch and then slip. It's going to be a sacrifice fly. It would have been a sacrifice fly anyway, whether Dominic slipped or not, as it was deep enough to allow Walden to tag and strolled in quite comfortably. Sutter gets his 46th run bat into the season and makes it 6-0 in favor of the Falcons. So Catalano and a triple, then Neal a single, then Walden a triple. The sacrifice fly from Sutter, and here's Nate Vargas. Line drive right field, that's a base hit. It's down, it's going to go all the way into the corner. Vargas rounds first, he's headed for second, and Diaz picks it up. That's going to be another triple, the third of the inning. And Vargas comes into third standing up, and he is at third with 2 outs. And the third triple of the inning. 6th hit of the game for the Falcons, and that will bring up Drake DiGiorno. DiGiorno had a base on balls back in the first inning. It's at 3:38. First pitch is in there for a strike. Drake out of Folsom High. 2 home runs, 18 runs batted in for Drake. He's got Vargas down at third base. He lets that one go by. That's also a strike. So it's 0-2 quickly on Drake DiGiorno. Wyatt Regalado to follow him in the Falcons order. Check swing just a little bit low and outside. 1-2. Beavers anticipating the call strike 3, but it is 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Drake DiGiorno. Timmons comes set, checks the runner at third, Vargas. That was outside. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's Timmons' pitch, fouled off back to the screen. Thankfully, on the other side from the great Jamil Pugh, who's manning the big camera again down there. XTG Media is his company. Check them out, xtgmedia.com. Down there shooting some photos. That's fouled back to the screen. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on DiGiorno. We are in the top of the second inning. Falcons lead at 6-0. Vargas at third leads off, pitches line down the left field line. It's hooking, and it will be foul. Julian Blackwell gives it a look, but gets back to his position. That's sails high for a ball. So it's actually Wyatt Balky out on left field. Blackwell is the DH today. Got used to Julian being out there. He is the DH today, and Wyatt Balky is in left field. That is misses somewhere for ball 4. So DiGiorno works it from 0-2, gets himself down to first base, runners at first and third now, and here's Wyatt Regalado, who singled his first time up. Regalado, a left-handed hitter out of West Valley, another sophomore. Came in at 387 on the season, pair of home runs and 34 runs batted in. Runner at first is going. The pitch is down low, and no throw will be made as DiGiorno goes into second base. So second and third now, 2 in scoring position for Regalado. fourth in the league in hitting at .387 coming into the game today. Left-handed hitter against the right-hander Timmons. Here's the pitch. High in the air, left side. Packard giving chase, but it looks like it's going to get out of play. And it does. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. These two teams, mine are back here on Saturday. We will be over at the softball, the Becky Russ softball field, or Becky Russ Field for softball, a doubleheader, as the Folsom Lake College softball team comes in to face the Beavers, and Big 8 conference doubleheader. That's lined foul down the first base line, so it's 1-2 now on Reganado. And then we've got 2 games against Sac City next week, Tuesday and Friday, to round out the season for the Beavers. That's down in the dirt, ball 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Stones McCoy frantically signaling me, so I'm checking my clothes, make sure everything's buttoned, but it was actually introducing the new camera. That's grounded down to first base. Nice play by Jake Morrell on the big hop. Goes over and tags the bag for the out. 3 runs on 4 hits. The left 2. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and the Falcons lead at 6-0.
Oh, I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed a job. Personally, the most rewarding part is about eating it. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies, and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student-athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
You're listening to coverage of ARC Athletics on Stones Radio Network.
Coming out for the bottom of the second, Cameron Sasso now with a 6-run lead on the mound for the Falcons. He'll face Jonas Diaz, Jake Morrell, and Darren Eels, 5, 6, and 7 in the Beavers lineup. Here in the bottom of the second as they try to get something going for ARC. Diaz hitting at 194 with 7 runs batted in. Jonas, freshman out of Folsom High School, out in right field. Been doing some chasing today of line drives out there. Yes, he has a word with the umpire. He steps in. Probably, hey, Blue, what's up? That's what I told him. I said, hey, keep it fair, Blue. Keep it fair. So far, I don't know. Jury's still out on that one. First pitch from Sasso is in there for a call strike. Checking out the new center field camera from Stones Radio Networks. It looks pretty sweet. And it almost catches me in the background, which I don't know if I like that or not. But that looks pretty good, Stones. Well done. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Jonas Diaz. A development 7 years in the making, Stones McCoy's center field camera. But well worth it. 0-2 pitch on the outside corner, call strike 3. Diaz goes back to the bench. First strikeout victim of Cameron Sasso, number 31 in the season for Cameron. And here's Jake Morrell, the left-handed first baseman. Freshman out of Whitney, batting at .213. He does have a home run and has driven in 7 runs for the Beavers. Steps up here with 1 out in the bottom of the second. Darren Eels to follow for ARC, and that first pitch is down low from Sasso. Cameron, a sophomore out of McKinleyville. .42 ERA. That one is in there for a strike. 1-1 on Jake Morrell. Right-hander Sasso against the left-hander Morrell. Swinging and a miss on a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stone showing it to Matt, the PA guy, who is all excited because he's a Sixers fan. So he said, I don't care. It's good. I like it. It's great. He's so happy. Fastball misses 2-2. Sixers 2-0 over the Brooklyn Nets in Eastern Conference playoff action in the NBA. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, off-speed pitch, got him on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cameron Sasso. That brings up Darren Eels. Shortstop, the freshman out of Bear Creek High in Stockton. Has a pair of home runs and 11 runs batted in, and 187 average. Steps up here with 2 outs to face Cameron Sasso. And yes, I have already made a bet with Matt, Kings and Sixers finals. Breaking ball misses inside because I'm sure that'll happen. The 2-3 seeds. 1-0 on Darren Eels. Fastball catches the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Sasso with a couple strikeouts here in the second. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk so far for Cameron and 1 2/3 innings. Right-hander from the windup. Fouled back by Darren Eels. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Darren. If he can get something started, Anthony Packard will be up for the Beavers. Anthony in the number 8 spot, then Dylan Herford, the catcher, batting in the 9 hole. That's chopped foul by Eels at the plate. Off-speed pitch from Sasso. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Darren. The shortstop with a pair of home runs this season. Mostly been the everyday shortstop for Coach Jay out there throughout the campaign. 1-2 pitches hit high in the air but foul down the left field line and out of play. High fastball that Eels kind of tomahawked down the left field line. Looks like David Centeno is on the on-deck circle because Anthony Packard, if you remember, took a minute after that tag play at third base earlier in the inning. Eels swings and misses, but the ball gets away from Bicknell. He picks it up, throws it down to first, but he's going to hold on to it, and getting to first base is Darren Eels. So it's a strikeout for Sasso. It was a breaking ball in the dirt. And going down to first is Eels, and here's David Centeno who's going to come in and bat for Anthony Packard. As Packard, as we talked about, was being checked out there after that play at third base, and evidently that what they found, I think he might have had something in his eye. But we'll try to get some further clarification on that. But David Centeno is going to be our hitter, the freshman out of Roseville. So Centeno steps in with Eels over at first base. Sasso checks the runner at first. Comes to the plate. David swings and fouls it off. So 0-1 on David Centeno, the pinch hitter. Hitting at .213 on the season is David, with 5 runs batted in. Here's Sasso's 0-1 pitch. Fastball just misses that outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dylan Herford, the number 9 hitter on deck. As Centeno, the pinch hitter, settles in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the second here from Beaver Field. Eels with the short lead at first. Centeno takes down low for a ball, 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nice day for a baseball game out here at Beaver Field. Popped up by Centeno. It's the first baseman is calling for it. That's JT Walden. Blocks out the sun and catches the ball for the 3rd out. So no runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the 3rd inning. It's the Falcons 6 and the Beavers nothing.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We love to see you.
Oh, I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. Personally, the most rewarding part is about eating it. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
Now back to the booth right here on Stones Radio Networks.
Top of the third, Falcons leading at 6-0. I think it'll be Drake McNell and then Brett Griffiths and Chris Catalano, 8-9-1 for the Falcons against Connor Timmons. McNell popped out to third base his first time up, so he is 0 for 1 in this one. The catcher steps in, the sophomore from Jesuit High School. Came in at a .286 average. Timmons from the windup, the right-hander delivers outside for a ball. Gets away from Dylan Herfer, so the umpire just takes it out of his pocket and hands it to him. Yeah, throw this one out there. Don't worry about it. That's inside. 2-0 on McNell. David Centeno now out at third base for the Beavers, replacing Anthony Packard. Inside, that hit him, and he's going to go down to first base. Hit by a pitch for McNell. He's at first base to lead off the top of the third, and here's Brett Griffith, who grounded to third his first time up, down to Anthony Packard, and was narrowly thrown out at first base. Brett, a freshman out of Jesuit. One of the few freshmen in the starting lineup for the Beavers today, or excuse me, for the Falcons today. McNell leads off at first base. Griffith shows bunt, bunts it, big chopper down to Centeno. David picks it up on the run, throws to first. Nice play, and a good sacrifice bunt by Brett Griffiths to get McNell down to second base. So the sacrifice works for the Falcons, and they've got McNell in scoring position for Chris Catalano, who walked in the first inning and scored, and then tripled in the second inning and scored. A line drive over the head of Wyatt Balke out in left field. And Catalano never stopped, never paused, never hesitated, and made it all the way into third. He's up here now with 1 out and 1 on. Takes a strike. 0-1. Connor Timmons, a sophomore, out of East Nicholas High School, 6'3", 190 pounds. Next one is in there for a strike as well. So quickly 0-2 on Catalano. Andrew Neal on deck, number 2 hitter in the order for the Falcons, who stand at 13-8 in conference play, with this their final conference series on the regular season. 0-2 coming from Connor Timmons. Line drive into right center field. Ott is on the way. He's going to get there, and coming in is Diaz. Nice try by the second baseman to go out Ryland Druck as it was in short right center field. And Druck tries to make the diving catch, couldn't do it. It's a single for Catalano, having to go just to third as McNell had to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught. So he is over at third now. And here is Andrew Neal, who is a couple singles and a couple of runs batted in for the Falcons today. That one off a little bit on the end of the bat. I thought it was a little more solid contact. And Druck made a fine try as Grandma Druck looks on, but was not able to make the catch. And now runners at first and third. 8th hit of the game for the Falcons. Second for Catalano, and the first pitch to Andrew Neal is outside. Sophomore out of Freedom. coming in at 267, has picked up RBI number 15 and number 16 here this afternoon. There goes the runner. The pitch is high in the bluff to second base, but no one is fooled, and so it's second and third now. 2 balls and no strikes on Neal with J.T. Walden on deck, and J.T. has a home run and a triple today and has driven in 3 runs. So first base not really open if you're the Beavers. 2-0. Popped up. Infield, Timmons is calling for it. Now Centeno's going to call him off, and David comes in from third base to make the catch. The big out right there for the Beavers. Neal is down for the first time today, and here comes J.T. Walden. Came in at 375 for the first baseman out of Christian Brothers, the sophomore. 7 home runs and 39 batted in. Make that 8 home runs and 42 batted in now. And he's got 2 more on base right now. First pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 on J.T. Walden. Came in 5th in the league in RBIs. He is past teammate Nate Vargas. Take over the number 4 spot. Vargas at 40 runs batted in. 0-1 now from Connor Timmons. Inside for a ball. Just a little bit too far inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. I'll have to have Stones McCoy do some research on that Black Sabbath album that was black and purple. It's the color scheme for Folsom Lake, Stones. I know you've been busy with your cameras and everything today, but we have important things to figure out here. 1-1 pitch. High and outside. Nice catch by Dylan Herford. I just remember it as a black album cover with pink, or not pink, purple lettering. Black Sabbath. Pretty sure it was Black Sabbath. Of course, in those days, I wasn't sure of anything. 2-1 on J.T. Walden. High fly ball, left center field coming in is Balky, and he is going to make the catch in left center field. So Walden flies out, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the third. Falcons 6, Beavers nothing.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We love to see you.
Now, back with the play-by-play right here on Stones Radio Network.
Bottom of the third, it'll be Dylan Herforth, and the top of the order, Dominic Ott and Ryland Druck against Cameron Sasso for the Beavers as they trail this one 6-0, holding the Falcons scoreless in the top of the inning, although Folsom Lake with 2 runners on base, and Walden flies out to left field. As Sasso was finishing up his warm-up tosses and following up on what we're talking about, Black Sabbath Masters, a reality album is the one we're talking about, a black cover with the purple lettering on the Black Sabbath. And Stone says came out in '88. I don't remember that one as much. I don't even know if Ozzy, we're playing Ozzy on our soundtrack right now, but I'll have to check and see if Ozzy was even in the band at that time in '88. So we've got a lot of research to do up here, and Stones has enough to do. Oh, now Stones is giving me the completely wrong information. Oh, Sweet Leaf. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, so it was not 1988. Okay, there you go. Swing and a miss by Herforth. So Sweet Leaf, yeah. 71. There you go, Stones McCoy. And I knew he'd come through for me. He's just been a little bit distracted with the whole camera thing. Don't tell me the date it came out. I don't really care. Although that was a cool summer. High for a ball. I just graduated like a month before that. No, of course you weren't born yet. That's why you didn't know what you were talking about. The first time you said it was 1988. Yeah, oops. I'm the one who gets dinged for that on the Yelp reviews. In there for a strike to Herford. Dylan, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Outside for a ball, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes on Herford. Ott to follow, then Ryland Druck. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning here from Beaver Field. Swinging and a miss. Sasso with the strikeout. His 4th of the game. And that'll bring up Dominic Ott, who had a sharp grounder out to second base his first time up. So Dominic is 0 for 1. J.T. Walden at first, Andrew Neal at second. Drake DiGiorno at shortstop, and Logan Sutter at third base, the infield. Oh, there's some Patriots coming back from the snack bar, and that looks awesome. I got to get stones on that because that's a delicious-looking dish. Liz down there in the snack bar just outdoes herself every week. First pitch is a strike to Dominic Ott, 0-1 on Dom. Hits that one sharply to the left to shortstop into left center field for a base hit. Tough hop by DiGiorno, and that's going to be the first hit of the game for the Beavers. A single by Dominic Ott, who placed that one, hit it just as hard as he did the first time, placed it a little bit better, and it was a do-or-die situation going to his left and diving for DiGiorno, and he could not make the play. So first hit of the game for the Beavers is the single, and here's Ryland Druck, who also grounded out to second base his first time up. So he is 0 for 1, the freshman out of Roseville. Playing out at second base for the Beavers here today. Sutter is even with the bag at third base. Druck takes in there for a strike on 1. Julian Blackwell, the DH on deck for AR. Druck, Beavers wearing the home whites. Druck at number 19 for ARC. Had a 5-hit game this year. There goes the runner, and they're going to catch him off at first base as Ott took off a little too quickly. The throw to shortstop, and they're going to tag Dominic Ott out. He is caught stealing as he just took off a little too early. Sasso was motionless on the rubber, and as soon as the yell went out, he's going. He turned around and threw to a shortstop, and they got Ott at second base. 2 outs, and Druck still at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. So the Beavers get a runner, but just as soon he is extinguished, swinging a miss by Ryland Druck on the fastball, actually fouled into the catcher's glove. 0-2 now on Ryland. Sasso, the sophomore from McKinleyville. That's fouled at the plate. So it stays 0-2. Umpire's going to take the walk out. As either he got dinged or the catcher got dinged, but now the ump's going to just take a long walk out to the mound and hand a new ball to Cameron Sasso, so that whoever got dinged, they're going to have a minute to unding themselves. So we sit 0-2, 2 outs here in the third. Druck with 8 runs batted in on the season. That's in the dirt. Bicknell with the pickup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Masters of Reality, Black Sabbath, 1971. That's the color scheme of the Folsom Lake Falcons. On the road, black jerseys, purple numbers. That's hit to the right of first base. Nice scoop out there by Walden. He's got the pitcher covering. Did he get him? Yes, he did. Nice play by J.T. Walden going to his right, and Sasso got there just in time. So no runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the 4th. Falcons lead at 6-0.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. Personally, the most rewarding part is about eating it. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Now back to the Phantom right here on Stones Radio Network.
Hey, that's me, the Phantom, out here at Beaver Field, top of the 4th inning. Falcons leading at 6-0. Logan Sutter, Nate Vargas, and Drake DiGiorno, the first 3 hitters, 4, 5, and 6 in the order for the Falcons. Sutter struck out and hit a sacrifice fly, so he is 0 for 1 with an RBI. That is Logan's 46th run batted in of the season. First pitch is inside and high for a ball 1-0. Came in at .369, has 6 home runs, and now 46 runs batted in. Puts him 3rd in the conference. And he takes that one low, so it's 2-0 on Logan Sutter. Here's the 2-0. Check swing, it's in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sutter, a sophomore from Del Oro High School, the Golden Eagles. Right-handed hitter, slightly open stance against the right-hander Connor Timmons as he awaits the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Sutter and then Nate Vargas and Drake DiGiorno here in the 4th for the Falcons. Line down the left field line is hooking, and it will be foul into the area out there to the right past the looks like the sheds and stuff down there to house all the equipment. So it's 2-2 now on Sutter. He got that one. Inside pitch turned on it a little bit too far. That one misses the inside corner. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Falcons had 3 in the first and 3 in the second. Beavers with just 1 hit through their first 3 innings, a single by Dominic Ott. 3-2 pitches hit up high in the air out towards center field. Ott's going to come in, still coming in, and Dominic reaches up and makes the catch in medium deep center field for the first out. So Sutter is retired. On a fly ball to center field, here's Nate Vargas, who popped out to short in the first and then tripled in the second. So he is 1 for 2. Nate came in at .372, the designated hitter with a trio of home runs. That makes 3, I believe, and 40 runs batted in. First pitch is high for a ball to the left-handed Nate Vargas. Freshman out of Whitney. Hits it to center field, but that's hit pretty well. Ott's going to go back. He's going to have room and make the catch in deep center field. Not quite to the warning track, but hit pretty well. So 2 quick fly balls to center field for the Falcons in the 4th, and that'll bring up Drake DiGiorno, who has been up in the first inning and walked, and then liked it so much he came up in the second inning and walked again. Both times Drake got over to third base, not able to score a run yet in this one. It's at .338, and he pops one up on the right side, and that's going to be out of play. So 0-1 on DiGiorno. Pair of home runs, 18 runs batted in, and that .338 average for the sophomore from Folsom High School, hitting from the right side against Timmons. Timmons down low with the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wyatt Reganado on deck in case DiGiorno gets something started for the Falcons here. That's in the dirt again. Bounces up. I think that one got the umpire, so we're going to take a momentary time here as the umpire got dinged by the ball that was about, I'm going to say 58 feet, and then hopped over the shoulder of Dylan Herforth and found the umpire standing right there, which is his job, so not dinging him on that. Quickly back in action for the 2-1 pitch, though. And that one is even shorter, and I got the umpire, I believe, again, that time on the hand. So we're going to take a little time out here and let the umpire pull himself together as he takes a walk and circles around home plate, and his partner comes in from first base to check on him. He waves him off. Looks like Coach Gregory from Folsom Lake comes out to check on him. Here comes Coach Jay, and they're going to have a conversation at home plate, checking on the umpire and bringing the trainer out with him. As if he wasn't dinged on the first one, he definitely was dinged on that one. A couple of 57-footers. And I'm not talking about like boats or anything. Those are pitches. Coach Jay goes back into the dugout. And I'm not saying he doesn't care about the umpire. I think he might be looking to get some ice or something like that as the trainer comes out to talk to him. That one got him out. And there's chuckles all over the place. Stones just chuckles all over the place. Now, you usually have a pretty good idea what goes on in these situations. Do you have any insight for me?
Yeah, that one came up off the dirt, hit him in the hand, and I believe it got him in the hand the second time also. So
man,
his hand is probably the size of his foot right about now.
That's not a good visual. I
have to paint word pictures.
Yeah, I know. And if you're going to be in this medium, you got to paint a little better picture than that.
I thought that was a great word picture.
Now, if you've seen that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, they had hot dog fingers, and I think maybe that would have been a more appropriate thing than to say that his foot. You see what I'm saying? Say he's got hot dog fingers or something.
Can't say I've seen Everything Anywhere All at Once.
Everything Everywhere. Now you've got me confused, and let's get back to the action. 3 balls and 1 strike, 2 hurt fingers to DiGiorno, and that is ball 4. And I don't think that he was going to get any call on that, even if it was close. DiGiorno now 3 walks on the game, and here's Wyatt Reganado, the left fielder, who has singled and grounded out to first base. Wyatt's a sophomore out of West Valley, and he sports a .387 average coming in, and is 1 for 2 today. Pair of home runs, 34 runs batted in for the left-handed hitting left fielder. Drake McNell, the catcher, on deck. There goes the runner. It's in the dirt, and it got the umpire in the leg this time. And going down to second base is DiGiorno. And I don't mean to make light of it because that looked like it stung. I mean, I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying that he is just getting battered back there. We're going to have a timeout. Stones, I'll bring you back in. I hope you don't have any more word pictures like you did last time. They're going to go out and they're going to talk to Connor Timmons just to give the umpire, I think, a break, because that one was another 57-footer, it looked like.
Yeah, 3 in a row. That's the trifecta that no umpire ever wants to face. All right. You want to win the trifecta when you're betting and horse racing, but behind the dish, you don't want that trifecta.
So you'd rather get the ball to go all 60 feet and get to the catcher than have it bounce 3 feet in front. And you can't even, I mean, the catcher, Herforth has it, he's doing what he can out there, but it's bouncing a little bit too far out in front of him and coming a little too quickly for him to make the adjustment.
Well, there might even be 60-footers. You're forgetting about the other 6 inches. If he doesn't
that's not 6 inches.
That other 6 inches, he's got to make sure he gets that too. Yeah, it's just a tough time.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Tough time behind the dish right now for this blue.
Yeah, why don't you take this time to tell us about Stones Radio Networks and ARC Athletics YouTube and how you follow ARC Athletics?
Well, you started to do it, so I'll just
finish
it.
I want you to finish.
I'll finish it. ARC Athletics on YouTube is where you want to catch all of the action for American River College sports. Plus, you can always go to Stones Radio Networks on YouTube. And you definitely want to be following along on Stones Radio Networks on the Mixler app.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to have Stones Radio Networks website. You got to have that bookmarked because that'll always tell you everything that we're doing. So, I mean, those are the greatest places to find us.
And don't forget, subscribe
to
the YouTube page. Thank you, Stones McCoy, for that pretty effective discourse, I think. And we're ready to go again. I don't even want to tell you what happened with that pitch. But Herforth with a nice block. I know people can just look for themselves, and they can just figure it out. 2-0, yes, I know. Are you showing pictures of the poor umpire getting hit in the leg? Is that your screensaver now or something? That's hit sharply down the first baseline and foul. So 2-1 on White Oreganato. Out at second base is Drake DiGiorno. He got the base on balls with 2 outs here in the fourth. Timmons from the stretch with the 2-1 pitch in the dirt blocked by Herford. 3 balls and 1 strike. Stones McCoy surveying the area down left field. It's hard to tell if there's anybody warming up for the Beavers because there's just like a lot of area down there, and you can't really see very well. A lot of gates between us and them. 3-1 pitch is chopped foul down the first base line. First base coach with a nice try over there. I don't know if he made a clean stop on it. No, he did not. And you see that in this situation, if you don't try for it, it's actually better than if you try for it and miss it. Because if you miss it, that's going to go on your permanent record. If you don't try for it, and it's all that's okay, Full count to Reganato. Timmons steps off and throws it to second base. With the rules the way they are, I think maybe sometimes they throw it so they won't get a disengagement or something. So, yeah. So it's a pickoff try at least. 3-2 pitch coming up. In the dirt blocked by Herford, ball 4. So 2 walks after 2 flyouts to center field here in the fourth, and that'll bring up Drake Bicknell, the catcher. Popped up to third base and was hit by a pitch, was Drake. He is 0 for 1 in this one, 286 coming in. Sophomore from Jesuit High School, over there in Carmichael over there. I used to live right across the street, but I don't think that's pertinent now. Back to the action. Thanks, boss. The fastball is in there for a strike. 0-1. Every once in a while he looks at the letterhead and it says Stones Radio Networks. He goes, oh, that's me. And he has to tell somebody what to do. And I'm the only one around, so basically I bear the brunt of that. 0-1 on Bicknell. Brett Griffiths, the center fielder, on deck. 2-on-2 outs here in the fourth. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Falcons scored 3 times in the first and 3 times in the second. Had 2 runners on in the third, but were foiled on a fly ball to left field and ended the inning. And 2 quick outs here in the fourth, but then 2 base on balls, and we are first and second with 2 outs. 1-1 now. Sharply to the left of third. Nice pickup by Centeno. He goes to second. Nice play by David Centeno at third base. Went the only place he could go and gets the force out at second base. No runs, no hits. 2 left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's the Falcons 6 and the Beavers nothing.
Now back to the Phantom right here on Stones Radio Network.
Bottom of the fourth inning, 6-0 Falcons. It's Julian Blackwell, Wyatt Balke, and Jonas Diaz, 3, 4, and 5 for the Beavers against Cameron Sasso, who has sailed through the first 3 innings, allowing just 1 hit and striking out 4. Blackwell got a base on balls his first time through, so yet to make an official appearance at home plate. Julian, the DH today for Coach Jay and the Beavers, Jumelet. who was one of the first coaches to welcome us here to ARC last year. Very kind to us. Off-speed pitches in there for a strike. 0-1. Particularly fascinated by Stones McCoy, asking him all the time, what exactly do you do? And no good answer was ever forthcoming from Mr. McCoy. Sharply hit ground ball to third base under the glove of Sutter into left field for a base hit. That was a do-or-die situation. We'll have to go to the official score, and he says it's going to be a base hit for Julian Blackwell. Kind of a short hop situation to Sutter's left. Did not come up, and Blackwell gets himself a base hit. He's at first with nobody out, and here's Wyatt Balke. Wyatt into a fielder's choice his first time up, so he is 0 for 1. Freshman out of Wood Creek, hitting 234 coming in. He's got Blackwell down at first base. Sasso taking his time, comes to the plate with a pitch. A fastball is in there for a strike on 1. Blackwell, when he was on the first time, took off, and I think Cameron Sasso remembered that and kind of held the ball an extra second or two. Blackwell, not a big lead over at first base. He is up in the top 5 of stolen base leaders in the conference with 12. Oh, 1 coming from Sasso. Here it is. There goes Blackwell, swinging a miss. The throw to second base is a little bit on the other side, and he tags him out on the foot going into second base. So the throw went on the second base side, but he is knocked down. The throw by Bicknell got him at second base. So the first out, and it's 0-2, I believe. I think Wyatt swung at that one, so it's 0-2. That one is in the dirt, 1-2. So Blackwell tries to steal, and he is thrown out by Bicknell. One ball and 2 strikes. Fastball misses outside. 2-2. Well, McCoy, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden his watch is talking to him. I think he has Alexa in his watch, and he said something distasteful, and Alexa immediately responded and said, hey, watch it, mister. 2-2. To Balke with Diaz to follow. Fouled out of play by Wyatt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Blackwell opens the inning with a single to left. He is cut down Steely for the first out, and now Balke, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cameron Sasso, the right-hander, into the windup. Off-speed pitch misses inside. Check swing by Balke, but he holds up. Fills out the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 4th here from Beaver Field. Fastball, call, strike 3. 5th strikeout for Sasso. 2 outs here in the 4th inning, and here's Jonas Diaz, who struck out back in the 2nd inning. So Jonas 0 for 1. Comes up to the plate with 2 outs here in the 4th. 194 on the season, 7 runs batted in for the freshman out of Folsom. Right-handed hitter against Cameron Sasso. First one is right down the middle for a strike, 0-1. Jake Morrell on deck in case Jonas gets something started for the Beavers here in the 4th. Swing and a miss, check swing on an off-speed pitch, so it's quickly 0-2 on Jonas Diaz. No balls, 2 strikes. Big chopper out towards second. Neal gets it on the hop, throws over to first for the 3rd out. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the 5th. Falcons 6, Beavers nothing.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Welcome back to Beaver Field for the top of the 5th inning. It'll be Brett Griffiths, and then the top of the order, Chris Catalano and Andrew Neal for the Falcons against Connor Timmons. A reminder, these two teams meet again on Thursday. That will be over in Folsom, and then on Saturday, they're back here for a 1 p.m. first pitch. We will not be on the air on Saturday with the baseball game. We'll be starting a doubleheader at noontime over from Becky Russ Field, the softball complex. These two schools will meet. It'll be ARC against Folsom Lake College in a doubleheader commencing at 12 o'clock. Then next week, 2 home games on the baseball side as AR hosts Sac City in a couple of games on Tuesday and on Friday. And we will be bringing those to you on ARC YouTube or Stones Radio Networks, or wherever you find your YouTube content, or download the Mixl app to get audio only and search Stones Radio Networks. And here's Brett Griffiths here against Connor Timmons, who's given up 8 hits in the game and 6 runs. Griffith has grounded third and sacrifice, so he is 0 for 1. First pitch is just a little bit high and outside for a ball. Brett, a freshman out of Jesuit, right-handed hitter, playing out in center field, has 5 runs batted in on the season. That is in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Chris Catalano, the top of the order, on deck. Two-0 pitch. That also misses high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Five walks issued by Timmons so far. And that one is down the middle for a strike. 3-1 on Brett Griffiths. Connor with a single strikeout. He's also hit a batter. That one's in the dirt, ball 4. So Griffith is down at first base with the base on balls. And here comes the top of the order, Chris Catalano, the right fielder. Walked, tripled, and singled so far. So Chris on base 3 times, 2 for 2. He has scored 2 runs. Came in with a .291 average, but probably got that up over 300 now for the sophomore out of Folsom High School. Hitting from the right side, slightly open stance with Griffiths down at first base. Gets a good lead down there. First pitch is outside low to Catalano, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. Andrew Neal, the second baseman, on deck. Top of the 5th here. Falcons 6, Beavers nothing. Griffiths another good lead over at first base. Timmons has shown a good move and throws over there this time. A little bit too late. Merrill puts the tag on, and umpire says safe, which is the right call. To the plate inside with a fastball, 2-0 on Catalano now. Chris with a home run and 21 runs batted in on the season. A 25-9 campaign for Folsom Lake up to this point. 2-0 pitches right down the middle. 2-1. Nice little crowd out here on a, what day is this? Tuesday afternoon. Trying to stay in the sun as the sun keeps going behind clouds. But for the most part, pretty pleasant out here. 2-1 coming up to Catalano. There goes the runner. He stumbles, but he's going to be able to make it anyway as the ball is in the dirt. So Griffiths credit for a steal of second base. And it's now 3 balls and 1 strike. And Dylan Herforth doing yeoman's duty behind the plate, having to block a lot of pitches that are short-hopping him. 3 balls and 1 strike. Fastball on the outside corner, call strike 2. Catalano headed down to first base, but that one is in there. And it makes the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes, with Neal waiting to come on deck. Or waiting to come to the plate from on deck. Left-hand inning second baseman. That's inside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning. First and second now for the Falcons. And that'll bring up Andrew Neal, who singled in the first inning, drove in a run, singled in the second inning, drove in a run, and then grounded to third in the third inning. So he is 2 for 3. And now we're going to have a meeting at the mound and talk to Connor Timmons, who's issued 2 walks now. It's 7 walks in the game with the hit batter. So he's going to have a meeting at the mound as we'll have a little break in the action here. We're sitting in the top of the 5th inning. Folsom leads this one 8-0, and I think we're going to have a pitching change. And as Connor Timmons comes off the mound, and new pitcher coming in for the Beavers, right-hander. I think that might be Matt Kelly. Let's take a look and see what we've got here as far as the new pitcher for the Beavers is concerned. 2 runners on and nobody out here in the 5th for that new pitcher. Beavers looking for win number 5 on the season, number 2 in Big 8 conference play, as they're going to make the pitching change. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second for the Falcons. Then they were held scoreless in the third and fourth. They've started the 5th with 2 base on balls, runners at first and second. And we have a new pitcher, a right-hander. Might be number 55. That's Nick Rosemont will be the new pitcher. So Nick Rosemont, the sophomore from Intercom, comes on for ARC in relief of Connor Timmons here in the top of the 5th inning. Nick making his 8th appearance. No record, 9 in the 3rd innings of work, a 6.75 ERA, 7 strikeouts, 12 walks. So he will come out here to take on Andrew Neal, the number 2 hitter for the Falcons. Rosemont, a right-hander, is going to be pitching from the stretch with runners at first and second and nobody out. Softball-wise, the 2 games we do on Saturday will be the final home games for the ARC softball team. They are playing right now at Sac City. Last we saw, it was tied at 0 in the top of the 4th. Beavers coming off a doubleheader win against Modesto, so they have improved to 9-11 in conference play. They have a game today. They have a doubleheader on Saturday, and then they have a game next Tuesday down in Stockton against Delta. That will complete their conference season, so every game important for them as well as they look to try to make it into the postseason play. But right now, it is Andrew Neal coming up to the plate against Nick Rosemont. Griffiths is at second base and Catalano over at first base. Nobody out here in the 5th. Neal, a left-handed hitter from Freedom High School. Shows bunt, bunts it down the third base line. It's going to be handled by Centeno with a bare hand over to first. Did he get him? No, he did not. A nice play by Centeno, but Neal beats it out. He'll get credit for a single. Moves the runners along. Bases are loaded now. 9th hit of the game for the Falcons. And here's J.T. Walden, who came up in the first inning and hit a 2-run home run. Then they hit an RBI triple in the second, fly to left in the third. So J.T. is 2 for 3. He's picked up his 8th home run and 42nd RBI of the season. And he's up here with the bases loaded and nobody out. A perfect bunt by Neal. Great play by Centeno, but he's just a little bit too late. JT hits it high up in the air. Short center field. Ott's coming in. Here comes the left fielder. Dives for it. Can't make the play. It drops safe. They pick the ball up, throw it to third to try to get the force, and not in time. It's going to be an RBI single for J.T. Walden as Griffith scores. And moving up, Catalano and Neal. So J.T. didn't hit it. He hit it well, but he hit it too high. But he's going to get himself his 4th RBI of the game as nobody able to get it. A nice diving try by Wyatt Balke in left center field, but just could not get to it. and that'll bring up Logan Sutter. Bases are still loaded. A run in now. 7-0 in favor of the Falcons. And Sutter, who struck out, hit a sacrifice fly, and flied to center, is up here. Rosemont's first pitch is low for a ball. Sutter with 6 home runs and now 46 runs batted in. Came in at .369. He is 0 for 2 in this one so far. Nate Vargas to follow. 1-0 pitch on the outside corner. Call it strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sutter from Del Oro High School, the sophomore third baseman. That pitch is just a little bit high, 2-1. Sutter third in the league in runs batted in coming into this game. Has picked up 1 more in this one and sits at 46. Teammate J.T. Walden at 42, and now Nate Vargas, who's on deck, has 40. Sutter hits that ball high up in the air to the right side. Moving over is Ryland Druck in short right field. He's going to make the catch and the tag at third base, but Ryland Druck spins and throws it into home and holds the runner at third base as Catalano has to hold. And a good play by Ryland Druck. Sutter is retired. 1 out now, and that brings up Nate Vargas. Tough play by Druck as he had to go out in short right field, looking back up into the sun, but he made it and spun and got the ball into home plate. Not really the accuracy of the throw, but just the speed in which he got it in kept Catalano down at third base, where he stays. And here's Vargas, who is popped out, tripled, and flied to center. First pitch just misses outside for a ball. Vargas, .372 coming in with those 40 runs batted in. Also has 3 home runs. Left-hand hitting DH out of Whitney High School, just a freshman. That one is in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Nick Rosemont on here in the 5th inning in relief of Connor Timmons, who went 4+ innings. Allowed 9 hits. Make that 8 hits. Outside for a ball, responsible for all 7 runs that have scored so far, as well as Catalano down at third base. Two and 1 on Vargas. Line drive into right field. That's down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Diaz gets it in quickly, and it's cut off by Morrell. So good job by Jonas Diaz to get it in, but it's an RBI single for Vargas. Catalano scores. Neal moves to third. Walden to second. 41st run batted at the end of the season for Vargas. 8-0 now in favor of the Falcons, and here is Drake DiGiorno. So it's Neal to third, now Walden at second, and at first Vargas. As DiGiorno settles in, he has walked 3 times in this game. And he's up here with the bases loaded. Still just 1 out in the 5th. 2 runs in. That's hit high and deep to left field, but foul. So DiGiorno got all of that one, but hit it foul. So it is 0-1 on Drake DiGiorno. Right-hand hitting shortstop settles in. Also from Folsom High School. We're in number 1. That's hit well to left field. Going back, and making the catch is Balky out there, but it's going to be a sacrifice fly. Good play by Wyatt Balky in left field covering the ground. It's a sac fly for DiGiorno, his 19th run batted in. Another run comes across the plate. That is Andrew Neal. Walden has to hold at second base, and still at first is Vargas. And it'll bring up Wyatt Regalado. So 3 runs in for the Falcons. That ball was hit very well by DiGiorno, but just didn't get up high enough. And good play by Balky out in left field. Get it in quickly to hold the runner at second base. First pitch is in there for a strike to Regalado, who is singled, grounded out, and walked. White at 387 coming in, has 34 runs batted in on the season. Rosemont takes his time, gets a sign from Herforth. High fly ball right field. Diaz goes back. He's got a beat on it in deep right field and makes the catch for the out. So 3 runs, 3 hits. They're going to leave 2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The score now, the Falcons 9 and the Beavers nothing. As 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, and 3 runs now in the 5th for Folsom Lake, giving Cameron Sasso a pretty big margin out there on the mound as the right-hander has given up just 2 hits over the first 4 innings and has struck out 5 and walked 1. So Sasso looking like he is well on his way to picking up his 4th win of the season. He came in at 3-0 with a 3.42 ERA and a very impressive 30-7 strikeout to walk ratio in just 26 1/3 innings, the sophomore out of McKinleyville. Trying to get Folsom their 14th conference win of the season. Would be win number 26 on the years. They are 25-9 right now. And they're looking to close the season out with the win today and a couple more this week and sit through with Big 8 conference action at 16-8 and let Santa Rosa, Sierra, and Delta fight it out amongst themselves. Delta and Santa Rosa were tied at 13-5, and then Sierra just a game back at 12-6. All 3 of those teams, of course, with 6 games left to play in Big 8 conference, and the Falcons with just 3. And they look well on their way to getting win number 14 here today behind Cameron Sasso as he completes his warm-up tosses and Bicknell throws it down to second base. And we're ready to go here in the bottom of the 5th. Jake Morrell, Darren Eels, and David Centeno, the first 3 hitters for the Beavers. Morrell struck out back in the second inning, so Jake is 0 for 1 so far in this one. 213 on the year. He has a home run, has driven in 7 runs. Left-hander gets in the box, squares up against the right-hander Sasso, who likes to pitch from the windup. Fastball misses. The walk-up music almost impeding on the actual game, and the umpire made the move. Hey, cut the Guns N' Roses. 1 ball and no strikes on Jake Morrell. Takes inside and low for a ball, 2-0. Starting off the bottom of the 5th there. Darren Eels to follow. 2 balls, no strikes. Sasso gave up a single in the 3rd to Dominic Ott. That's line fouled on the left field line. A single in the 4th to Julian Blackwell, but Ott was throwing out trying to steal, and Blackwell was throwing out trying to steal. Actually, Ott was picked off first. He just took off, and Sasso stepped off the rubber and threw down to shortstop. He was tagged out by DiGiorno. That's hit well to center field by Morrell, going back. The center fielder Griffith still going back, reaches up and makes a very fine running catch in center field. Jake Morrell got all of that one and hit out to center field, but Griffith, covering a lot of ground, makes the fine running catch for the first out. So the Falcons, a bunch of hitters, but when they needed defense, they pulled it out right there as Griffith's in center field. Makes a good running catch. 1 out, and here's Darren Eels, who struck out his first time, reached when the 3rd strike, made it all the way back to the backstop. Breaking ball inside for a ball, 1-0. So Darren's 0 for 1, has been on base. David Centeno to follow. One ball and no strikes. Inside, ball 2. 2-0 on Darren, freshman out of Bear Creek High School down in Stockton from the 209. Slightly open stance from the right side. Waits for the 2-0 from Sasso. That one is in there for a call strike, 2-1. To Darren Eels. Bottom of the 5th, 1 out. Here from Beaver Field. 2-1 pitches in there again. 2-2 to Eels. Gotten the 2-0 advantage, but coming back, Sasso with 2 straight fastballs to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a foul ball at the plate. Oh, couldn't have been held by Bicknell, so Darren Eels will have himself another chance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just got enough of that one to spoil it, keep himself alive. Sasso ready now for the 2-2 pitch. High for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Darren Eels. Three-two pitch is chopped out towards shortstop. DiGiorno has it on a big hop across the diamond and gets him by a step over at first base for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs, and here's David Centeno. He came on for Anthony Packard after Anthony had to leave the game on a tag play at third base in the second inning. And still haven't found out about Anthony's condition. Hopefully it was just precautionary as Centeno was put in the game to take his place. And David now is up here. Popped out to first base, his only appearance, and that first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1 on David. Right-hand hitting freshman out of Roseville. That one is high for a ball. Bottom of the fourth from Sac City. Softball score, Sac City 3 and American River 1. They are back home on Saturday at noon. We'll have the doubleheader for you. Foul back by David Centeno. Two outs here in the fifth. 1 ball and 2 strikes on David Centeno. Dylan Herforth on deck. Centeno in the number 8 spot in the order. There's a line drive to left field. That's a clean base hit for David Centeno. Cut off in left field by Regalado, but well done by David Centeno. Got the off-speed pitch and waited for it and hit a ringing base hit to left field. Third hit of the game for the Beavers off Cameron Sasso. And here's Dylan Herforth, who struck out back in the third inning. So Dylan is 0 for 1 in this one. He's up here with Centeno at first and 2 outs. So Herforth up here with 2 outs and Centeno at first base. Short lead by David over there. Right down the middle, call strike, 0-1. Dylan Herforth, the freshman out of El Camino High School, the Eagles. Wearing number 10 for the Beavers, behind the plate in today's lineup. Game 1 of this series. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Centeno with the 2 out single to left. Short lead over there at first base. Beavers have mentioned 2 of their previous 3 hits were wiped out trying to steal. 0-2 coming up to Herforth. Just misses 1 ball and 2 strikes. Half the infield thought it didn't miss, and they were on their way in, but 1-2 on Dylan Herforth. Top of the order, Dominic Ott on deck. Centeno again with the short lead down at first base with 2 outs. That sails high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and 3 more in the fifth for the Falcons. They lead this one 9-0 as we are in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. David Centeno over at first base. Here's the 2-2 coming up to Herforth. Swing and a miss, got him on strikes. So no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. At the end of 5, Falcons 9, Beavers nothing.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student-athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Now back to the Phantom right here on Stones Radio Network.
Top of the 6th, 9-0 for the Falcons. That makes it time for a little bit later than usual Stones McCoy mid-game report. And Stones 9-0 situation. We talked about the Falcons before the game. They've got top hitters in every category in the conference, and it's just a case they came out swinging the bats today.
They really have. I mean, JT Walton we've seen before, so we kind of already knew that
Yes.
he had that in him, and he comes right out in that first inning and just, let me show you what I got. And that's a tough one to overcome because you start gathering that momentum in the early innings, and it really carries you throughout the game. And right now, 9-0, a lot of runs that the Beavers have to overcome.
Yeah, and one thing, I mean, it doesn't really matter today in this game, but the Beavers with a couple of runners on early, and I don't know if the runners are deciding to steal on their own or what's going on, but you don't really want to have them wiped off the base paths when you're down 4 or 5 runs.
You don't want to run into outs when you're down, a crooked number, and especially at this point in time in the game, we're not getting into we have to get a run right here mode, so you don't want to run out of the inning like that. And I agree with you, and I think the coaching staff will have a nice little talk with you guys at the end of this game.
That's Stones McCoy, the Stones mid-game report. Well done, Stones McCoy. You've been doing so much else today. You took a time out to chat with us a little bit, and we appreciate it. He is the president of Stones Radio Network, so he kind of has to be on the show. It's not my fault. First pitch is grounded up the middle, base hit to center field. That is Drake McNell, the catcher, who starts us off here in the 6th inning with a single up the middle. His first hit of the game. He's 1 for 3, and Brett Griffiths, the center fielder, coming to the plate. The freshman out of Jesuit has grounded out, hit a sacrifice bunt, and walked. So he is 0 for 1, has scored a run. That one gets away from Herforth behind the plate. Going down to second base is McNell. So quickly puts himself in scoring position. Yeah, we talked about the Falcons before the game, or early in the game, about they have 3 guys in the top 5 of a couple different categories and 4 in the top 10 and runs batted in and batting average. So they swing a good bat out here, and they've shown it so far today. That one is down low for a ball. 2-0 on Brett Griffiths. He is followed by the top of the order and Chris Catalano against Nick Rosemont, the second pitcher for the Beavers. Connor Timmons went the first 4+ innings. High fly ball center field. Ott has a beat on it in right center field. On the run, he's going to make the catch. No tag at second base. He gets it in quickly to Darren Eels. 1 out here in the 6th inning, and here's Chris Catalano, who has walked and scored and then tripled and scored. Came up in the 3rd inning and singled and then walked and scored in the 5th. So Catalano doing the leadoff hitter's job. He's been on base 4 times and scored 3 times and has 2 hits. 291 coming into this one for the sophomore right fielder out of Folsom High School. He's up here now. He's got Picknell down at second base, but now 1 out. Rosemont's first pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1 on Catalano. Andrew Neal, number 2 hitter, the second baseman, on deck. Just checking the crowd for canines. Haven't seen any canines today. A lot of babies, but no canines in this one, Stones. Yep. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rosemont getting his sign from Dylan Herforth behind the plate. Checks the runner at second base. 1-1 pitch. Sails a little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, there's another one right there. I didn't see that guy. Oh, he's staring at you. Man, he does not like what he's hearing from you. He does not like it. No, he's looking right at you going, I don't like that camera angle, mister. That's what he's saying. I think everybody knows he's staring at you. On the outside corner for a strike, 2-2. I mean, he's staring at you, and there's a little bit of hostility in there. Now, don't wave to him. Oh, that's great. That's just great. Oh, he's got that blue steel look, from Zoolander. You are in trouble because, maybe it might be something else going on. 2-2 pitch aside, 3-2. Man, he is just fixating you. You might want to go down there and talk to him. You can't play peekaboo to a kid who's 40 feet away, okay? Now you got mom involved. Now, oh, man, that's a disaster. What is wrong with you? I think he kind of likes it. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on strikes. Nice pitch by Nick Rosemont. 2 outs, and here is Andrew Neal. 3 singles for Andrew Neal and a ground out. 3 for 4. He scored twice. He's driven in 2. Came in at 267. Picked up RBI 15 and 16 today. Not even looking up here anymore, Stones. I think you did a pretty good job, though. I mean, once you went into peekaboo, you went into your routines, like all your bits and stuff. You were all right. Line drive right at the first baseman, Jake Morrell, for the 3rd out. Cool. Good defense on the part of Jake Morrell there. A line out for Neal. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th now. The Falcons 9, the Beavers nothing.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We love to see you.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. Personally, the most rewarding part is about eating it. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
Now back to the action right here on Stones Radio Network.
Bottom of the 6th, top of the order for the Beavers against Cameron Sasso, Dominic Ott, Ryland Druck, and Julian Blackwell, as Cameron's gone through 5 innings with just 3 hits allowed and 6 strikeouts, 1 base on balls. Ott with a ground out to second base in the 1st inning and a single in the 3rd, so he is 1 for 2 in this one, the sophomore out of Wood Creek. And I tell you, Stones, that kid is still looking up here at you. And I know you tried to go into your bag of tricks with the peekaboo and everything and stuff, and that was not a wave. That's a kid that needs to be burped right there. I can tell right now. That has nothing to do with a wave. There's stuff going on you don't know about right there. Because he was looking at you mad, and then he was looking at you curious, which I understand because I've done that myself with you. And now he's just kind of going, Mom, tell me about that guy. And she's just like, no, forget about it. And there's our first little puppy down there. 1-0 to Dominic Ott. Fouls it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. So I know it's a service dog. I can tell. Yeah, you're right. Stone's just taking his introductory broadcast class. Include as much detail as possible. That's very good, Stones, actually. You were absolutely right on that one. That's a little squibber down to first base. J.T. Walden has it. He's going to try to get himself. Flips it over to Sasso. I don't think it's in time, and it was not. It's an infield single for Dominic Ott. Not really much J.T. Walden could have done. He couldn't get there himself in time, and Sasso got over about the same time Dominic Ott did, as we have a conglomeration of 3 Potters over there on that play. The first baseman, the batter, and the pitcher. And it's a single for Ott, his 2nd, the 4th hit for the Beavers. And here's Ryland Druck, who is grounded out to 2nd and grounded out to 1st. On a good play by J.T. Walden back in the 3rd inning. So Druck up here came in at 225 with 8 runs batted in for the freshman out of Roseville. Sasso checks out. Druck shows bunt, brings it back, and check swing did not go on an off-speed pitch. It's 1 ball and no strikes on Ryland Druck. Oh, there you go, Stones. Now the service dog is going to talk to the baby, and all your favorite people are going to get involved. It's kind of like a little children's story that you're telling up here. I like that. 1 ball, no strikes to Ryland. Throw over to first base, and Ott is back. And next to all this action is Ryland's grandma down there. So everything's working out for you today. Everything's coming full circle. You got the camera angle you wanted. You're making friends. Druck takes high for a ball, 2-0. Well, maybe you're making friends. We have not, I know. Next time you go on one of your forays out there to center field to check on your cameras, stop by and see your guy there and see how it's going. We'll get a camera on that. See, that's why we need a guy on the field so we can go check that out. Go in the stands, talk to the kids. 2-0 pitch is in there, called strike to Druck. 2 balls and 1 strike. That's in the future for Stones Radio Networks. Man on the street, man on the field interviews, or man in the stands. 2-1. Or woman in the stands. We can also do that, but then it'll probably have to be your wife. 2-1 pitch. Druck takes high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike on Ryland Druck. Here we're in the bottom of the 6th. 9-0 for the Falcons. Actually, that kid's pretty mellow when you think about it. He's kind of like just staring at you, and that's really, I mean, we've all done that. Oh, now he's looking back up, though. Short lead at first by Ott. Stop waving. 3-1 pitch. Check swing. Didn't go. Ball 4. So Beavers with 2 on and nobody out here, a single and a walk in the 6th. And that'll bring up Julian Blackwell, who has walked and singled in this one. And we're going to have a meeting at the mound. Looks like Coach Rich Gregory is going to come out and have a little chat. So we'll step away for just a second. Stones will go talk to little kids in the stands, and we'll be right back at bottom of the 6th. Falcons lead at 9-0.
Listening to coverage of ARC Athletics on Stones Radio Network.
And we are back in action. Cameron Sasso still out on the mound for the Falcons. He's given up an infield single and a walk here to lead off the bottom of the 6th. And here's Julian Blackwell. Walked in the 1st, singled in the 3rd. He tries the bunt, bunts at it and misses. 0-1 on Julian Blackwell. Came in at 220 with 8 runs batted in. The sophomore out of Eastside High in Antelope Valley. JT Walden inside the bag at first, probably on the infield grass. At third base is Logan Sutter. Even with the bag as well. Here's the pitch to Blackwell. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Julian. Wide Balky on deck. Nobody out here in the 6th. Beavers with 2 on. 4 hits on the day for AR. Sasso comes set, checks the runner at second base. Swing and a miss off-speed pitch, got Blackwell on 3 pitches. So big out right there for Sasso, 7th strikeout, and here's Wyatt Balky. Struck out in the 4th inning and hit into a fielder's choice back in the 1st, so Wyatt is 0 for 2. Some activity in the Falcons' pen. Looks like Dylan Warren, number 14. Left-handed pitcher out of Oak Ridge, a freshman, is throwing down there. 1 out now, and here's Balky. Fouls that one out of play to our right. Big, nice cut by Wyatt Bulkey at a fastball. 0-1. Jonas Diaz, the right fielder to follow. Bulkey, the left fielder today for Coach Jay and the Beavers. Sasso set with the 0-1 to Bulkey. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. Good movement on that one from the right-hander Sasso, so he's ahead 0-2 to Wyatt Bulkey. Ott is at second base. Druck is over at first. One out here in the sixth. Outfield straightaway. Medium deep for Bulkey. Watches one go outside. Off-speed pitch again. Laid off that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Second baseman Andrew Neal playing pretty close to second base, keeping the runner close as well. Now he goes back to his regular spot. Breaking ball misses. 2-2 on Bulkey. Logan Sutter still even with the bag at third base. And J.T. Walden just behind the runner at first base as we get ready for the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. So second straight strikeout for Sasso, and that will bring up Jonas Diaz. So that's 8 strikeouts now for Cameron Sasso. Came in with 30 strikeouts and 7 walks over 26 in the third innings. Diaz struck out in the second and grounded to second in the fourth, so Jonas is 0 for 2 today. Up here now with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1 on Diaz. Jake Morrell on deck. Jake probably hit the best hit ball for the Beavers today. A fly ball to deep center field back in the 5th inning. That is chopped down the first base line, hits the grass and goes foul for Jonas Diaz, as Sasso was in pursuit of that one. About halfway between home and first, but it hit the corner of the grass and went foul. So it's 0-2 now on Diaz. Ott with the infield single open the inning, then the walk to Ryland Druck. But a strikeout of Blackwell, a strikeout of Bulkey, and now 0-2 on Diaz. Sasso gets into a stretch, directs the runner at second. Neal kind of hovers close to keep Ott close. Here's the pitch. Outside and low for a ball. Nice block by Bicknell. And it is 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, 2 coming up from Sasso. Fouled down the right field line. Actually off the screen down the right field line. And it stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Every time I look at those jerseys with the black and the purple now, I just think of Black Sabbath. Masters of Reality, right, Stones? Yeah. 1971. Featuring the hit single Sweet Leaf, which, of course, they weren't putting out as a single in those days. You had to find it yourself deep in the album. Fastball misses outside. 2-2, and you'd be the guy to, hey, man, dude, you got to check out side 2, track 4, Sweet Leaf. Whoa. Whoa. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Misses outside again, 3-2 on Jonas Diaz. With Morrell to follow, 2 outs, 2 on here in the 6th. Beavers trying to push their first run of the day across. Right-hander Sasso against the right-hander Jonas Diaz. Right down the middle, call strike 3. So Dias is out on strikes. Third strikeout of the inning, ninth of the game for Sass. So we go to the 7th. Falcons lead at 9-0.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We'd love to see you.
Now, back with the play-by-play right here on Stones Radio Networks.
Top of the 7th, it'll be J.T. Walden, Logan Sutter, and Nate Vargas against Nick Rosemont, the second pitcher for the Beavers. Came on in relief of Connor Timmons, who went 4+ innings, and Nick has been on the mound ever since. J.T. Walden has homered, tripled, singled. He's 3 for 4 today. He's driven in 4 runs. Gives him 43 on the season. And his home run was his 8th, which moves him into a tie for second, I believe, in the conference, and jumps him into the top 5 of RBIs as well. The first baseman out of Christian Brothers, a sophomore, did some time with the Lincoln Potters over the summer. We saw what we're seeing here today. We saw exactly what we're seeing here today, and he's come back from the Potters summer and had himself a tremendous season as he came in hitting at .375 before this game. Left-hander waits. Rosemont's first pitch is swung on a missed off speed. 0-1 to J.T. Walden. Sutter to follow. Check swing. That one misses low and inside. Stones and I kind of visualizing what it would mean if Grateful Bread and Super Taco got together, our fantastic sponsors, and hauled out a loaf of Grateful Bread and filled it with taco fillings. That's awesome. Walden hits it down the first base line. That is a fair ball. I think, yes, it is a fair ball going down in the corner. Walden's going to round first to go to second. He'll make third. Now he's going to stop, but he could keep going because the ball's not even in. I think it's going to be, and he keeps going. I thought the umpire might have called it a ground rule double, and it's JT's just going to keep running and wait till somebody tells him to stop as he goes to home and crosses home. And it's a foul ball. So I never saw any umpire make any call as far as it being foul, and it looked like it could have definitely been fair down the first base line. And JT was really moving around second, and maybe that's when he got the text that said nobody said anything. He just got a text around second and said it was a foul ball. But in those situations, Stones, as I'm trying to teach you, I check the umpire to see if he says fair, because if it's foul, they got to yell it. If it's fair, they'll just do the little thing. That one is in the same place, and I'm giving up. That one is foul. Thank you, Stones McCoy. Sometimes it just gets to a point where they just do the same thing just to rub your nose in it. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes and 2 fouls on J.T. Walden here, opening up the 7th inning. High fastball from Nick Rosemont, 2-2. Nick, a sophomore out of Intercom. Facing off against J.T. Walden to open the top of the 7th. Big hopper down to first. Morrell waits for it to come down and goes and steps on first for the out. So JT hit a big hopper down to Morrell. Jake handles it by himself. 1 out, and here's Logan Sutter. A strikeout, a sacrifice fly, a fly to center, and a pop to second for Sutter, so he is 0 for 3. Did pick up the RBI back in the second, so he's got 46 of them. First pitch is just a little bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Logan Sutter, sophomore from Del Oro, holding down third base for the Falcons today. That one is in there for a strike. 1-1. Teams meet again on Thursday in Folsom, and they're back here 1 o'clock on Saturday to play the third game of the series. Fly ball right field. Going back is Diaz, still going back, and that is up against the fence. Sutter's going to go into second base easily as he's got himself an opposite field double. His first hit of the game. He is down at second base. That one was over the head of not far a piece from being out at the 370 mark out there in right center field. Here's Nate Vargas. Left-hand hitting DH at 372 coming in. Has a triple and a single in this one and a couple of flyouts, so he is 2 for 4. Nate picked up his 41st run batted in back in the fifth inning with a base hit. So he's got Sutter now out at second base. 12th hit of the game for the Falcons. Vargas takes in the dirt for a ball 1-0. Dylan Herforth behind the plate for the Beavers. At first it's Jake Morrell. Second is Ryland Druck. Darren Eels at short. And David Centeno at third. Wyatt Balke in left. Dominic Ott in center. Jonas Diaz out in right field. That's a line drive past Morrell into right field for a base hit. Coming around third is Sutter. He's going to score easily. The throw's going to come into second base, but it will be a stand-up double and an RBI for Nate Vargas, his third hit of the game, and it's another run 10-0 in favor of the Falcons. So Vargas hit it solidly down the right field line. Diaz giving chase, picked it up, tried to get it into second to keep Vargas from stretching into a double, but he was already there. Second hit of the inning, 13th of the game for the Falcons, and that brings up Drake DiGiorno. The shortstop has walked 3 times and hit a sacrifice fly. So 4 appearances, no official plate appearances. That's grounded down to third. Centeno on the big hop looks to the runner back, throws across the diamond to first and gets DiGiorno by a step. Staying at second is Vargas, and now 2 outs in the inning, and Wyatt Regalado will be the hitter. Regalado, the sophomore out of West Valley, out in left field, came in at 387 as a single and a walk, a flyout and a ground out. So 1 for 3 with a single in the first inning. Got a runner down at second base. Pitch is hit down the first base line to Morrell. Knocks it down, picks it up, flips to the pitcher covering and gets him at first. Good job by Nick Rosemont to get down there and cover first base. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's the Falcons 10, the Beavers nothing.
Beat by DJ Stones.
Now, back with the play-by-play right here on Stones Radio Network.
New pitcher in the bottom of the 7th for the Falcons. It's Dylan Warren, the freshman from Oak Ridge, the left-hander making his 12th appearance. He started 10 games. He has a 3-1 record on the season, 31 innings pitched. ERA of 7.26 with 26 strikeouts and 24 base on ball, so he's coming on relief of Cameron Sasso, who was superb through 6 innings, 4 hits and 9 strikeouts. So he will take a break, and here will come Dylan Warren. Dylan's first 3 batters, Jake Morrell, Darren Eels, and David Centeno. 6, 7, 8 in the lineup for the Beavers. Jake Morrell struck out in the second, hit fly ball to deep center. That was caught by Griffiths. That was back in the 5th inning, so he is 0 for 2 in this one as we enter the bottom of the 7th. First pitch is a fastball right in there for a strike. So Sasso trying to improve to 4-0 on the season, and will bring down that 3.42 ERA. Picked up 9 strikeouts, so he now has 39 on the year in 32 and a third innings. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Morrell swings and misses. 0-2. Warren 31 innings pitched and 26 strikeouts. And he is quickly ahead of Jake Morrell 0-2 here in the 7th. Works from the windup, swinging a fouled off, and that might have got Drake Bicknell on the hand or the arm situation, or the finger, as he immediately racks. And we're going to get another appearance from the trainer out here. We've had a lot of problems around home plate here with umpires and catchers and things getting nicked with foul balls or wild pitches. Coach Gregory comes out to check on his catcher. He doesn't seem too concerned by it, but then again, we've talked about this before. Catchers just tend to shrug things off. That's what catchers do. If you don't shrug things off, then they say you can't be a catcher. I think that's the way it works. I'm not advocating that kind of stoicism, but I'm just saying that that's how you know if you're a catcher. You know you're a catcher if. So Jake Morrell taking his time out of the batter's box, giving Bicknell a chance to recover. And we are ready to go at 0-2 on Jake. Line drive, right field, foul ball down the line. So it stays 0-2 on Jake Morrell. 213 coming in and a home run and 7 runs batted in for the freshman out of Whitney High School. Fastball, outside corner, call strike 3. 10 strikeout by Falcons pitchers, and that brings up Darren Eels, who struck out in the second and grounded to short in the 5th. So Darren is 0 for 2. So Darren Eels steps in, freshman out of Bear Creek High down in Stockton. First pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Can't help but notice that they took the baby out that Stones was talking to. Oh, you went and spoke to him? Good idea. Good idea. Fastball inside for a ball. One ball and 1 strike. As long as you went, did a little peacekeeping, checked it out with him, made sure everything was okay. 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed by Darren. 1-2. You don't know the effect you have on these young people, 1-2. Give him some Stones Radio Network's merchandise. Swing and a miss on a fastball in the inside corner. So quickly, 2 strikeouts here in the 7th for the Beavers, and David Centeno comes to the plate. David came on replacing the starter Anthony Packard back in the 2nd inning. Anthony had to leave the game after a tag play down at third base. Centeno had popped to first and then singled back in the 5th. Took a breaking ball from Sasso and laced it in left field. Swing and a miss on the first fastball. Tailing away. Haven't mentioned often enough the snack bar, as I noticed a couple of fans coming up with the hot dogs, and they look pretty good right now. I don't know what the special is today. Inside for a ball. But Liz always has something special down there. Just pretty excellent looking hot dogs. He had 4? Maybe he could spare one? Of course he bought 4, but he could have bought, breaking ball on the inside corner. Tough pitch for Centeno right there. Not much he could have done with it had he swung. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Warren just a strike away from striking out the side here in his first inning of work. Fouled out of play by David Centeno, the freshman out of Roseville. I commend that gentleman for going down and buying multiple hot dogs. Well, he probably has people that he can give the hot dogs to. He didn't just order them just to hold on to them. Well, go and introduce yourself. You always make that great first impression. Inside corner, call strike 3. Warren strikes out 3. We go to the 8th. Falcons lead at 10-0.
Beat by DJ Stones.
Now back to the Phantom right here on Stones Radio Networks.
Julian Blackwell, the new pitcher, as we go to the 8th inning for the Beavers. He is the third Beaver pitcher after Connor Timmons and Nick Rosemont. Julian making his 4th appearance on the season. He has thrown just 5 innings and struck out 6. And he will be facing Drake McNell, then Brett Griffiths, and Chris Catalano, 8-9-1 for the Falcons. As Blackwell completing his warm-up tosses to become the third Beaver pitcher. Julian started the day as the designated hitter, so he was moving into the slot here. As Herford's guns went down to second base, perfectly placed, and we're ready to go in the top of the 8th. And Stones, why don't you come on and tell me about the terrible thing you saw in the stands? Yes, you do.
All right, fine. There's a couple of blankets down there on one person,
yes,
and one
they're covering themselves with blankets.
One
That's
blanket is a beautiful black and orange San Francisco Giants blanket.
Yes.
The other one's a blue and white Dodgers.
Oh my gosh.
I have nothing left to say.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Stones McCoy. Oh my gosh. Blackwell's first pitch is inside. And I think that's on a stroller. Is that on a stroller down there, Stones?
Even worse.
Oh my gosh!
They're raising their children
indoctrinating
the wrong
their
way.
child to be like, what? I'm confused. Wow. There's a fastball in there for a strike from Blackwell. 1-1. McNell has popped out, been hit by a pitch into a fielder's choice, and singled. So he is 1 for 3. And it doesn't act like they think there's anything wrong with that down there. That's fouled out of play. Now, is that more egregious than the most egregious thing we've seen, which was the green Dodger hat that time?
This is the most egregious thing on the planet.
This is the worst because it's got, like, either pick a side, right? Yeah. At least it's not one blanket with a half and half. At least it's 2 blankets. What if it was one blanket? High for a ball, 2-2. I mean, you got those caps that are half and half. What if you get a blanket that's half and half? I would get you that for your birthday. And if it's not your birthday, I would say it is and still give it to you. And then give it to you again on your birthday. I know you would. 2-2. Watch out inside and high, ball 3, 3-2. I mean, I commend you going to bring a stroller out or whatever. We commend you bringing the blankets, keeping the occupant warm and everything, but that's just a tough call right there. It's headed high up in the air to right field. Diaz moving over. He's got it in right center and makes the catch for the first out. So McNell is retired and a fly ball to right field. 1 out in Brett Griffiths, the center fielder, coming to the plate. The freshman out of Jesuit is grounded out, sacrificed, walked, and hit a fly to center field. So we've got a pinch hitter. That's Christopher Cochran coming off the bench to bat for Griffiths. First pitch is in there for a strike to Christopher Cochran, the freshman hitting for Griffiths. Right-handed hitter against Julian Blackwell. That is on the corner for a strike. Off-speed pitch by Blackwell. The slider makes it 0-2 on Cochran. Chris Catalano on deck. Tries it again. This one's outside. So it's 1-2 on Cochran. That's in the dirt, 2-2. Cochran 4 for 16 on the season, a .250 average. Has driven in 4 runs for the Falcons in limited duty. So he's up here with 1 out. 2-ball, 2-strike count in the 8th. Blackwell from the stretch. Now he steps off. He wants a new baseball from the umpire. Umpire, very agreeable, very amicable. Here you go, buddy. Good job by the umpire today. He's gone through a lot behind the plate. Here's the 2-2. Just misses outside, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Christopher Cochran, batting here in the top of the 8th inning. Your friend Jamil's talking to people with the 2 blankets down there. That is outside for a ball, and Cochran gets the base on balls. He'll go down to first base with 1 out, and they'll bring up Chris Catalano. Catalano, leadoff man, is walked, tripled, singled, walked, and struck out. So he is 2 for 3. He's scored 3 times. The sophomore right fielder out of Folsom settles in with a runner at first base and 1 out here. Blackwell's first pitch is high and inside, so it's 1-0 on Catalano with Andrew Neal to follow. American River's got some guys up and throwing. Can't tell exactly who it is. That one is in there for a strike. Looks like Oster Navarez is on deck to hit for Andrew Neal. That one is just outside. Missed the slider. 2 balls and 1 strike. Oscar, a sophomore out of Granite Bay High School. Right back at the middle. Blackwell has it. Has to wait for someone to cover second, then throws it into center field. The runner falls down, so he is going to stay there, Cochran. So Blackwell had it so quickly he had to wait for Eels to cover. Then he threw it to the wrong side, and it will be an error. And going down to first base is Catalano. Cochran is at second base. Just the second error for the Beavers today. And here is Oscar Navarez, the second baseman. Just 7 plate appearances on the season. He is 1 for 7 so far. Check that. He is 7 for 37. You got to look at the right column there, fam. 189 on the season, so 7 out of 37. He's up here with 2 on and 1 out. Blackwell's pitch is high for a ball. Andrew Neal 3 for 5 while he was in there. That is outside for a ball. Neal was 3 for 5. He scored twice and he drove in 2. But now it's Oscar Navarez, the sophomore from Granite Bay, ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Fouled out of play to our right. So Blackwell into the count now, 2 balls, 1 strike on Navarez. We're number 9 for the Falcons, who lead this one 10-0. We are in the top of the 8th inning. Breaking ball just misses inside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Oscar Navarez. JT Walden on deck. Catalano at first, Cochran at second with a 3-1 pitch coming. Chop down the third base line. That is foul through the coach's box down there. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wyatt Balke runs that one down as it caroms onto the field. Throws that out of play, and we're ready to go 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners lead from first and second. Full count pitch coming up. Now Blackwell's going to pivot and look back at second base, but Cochran was not fooled as he stayed close. Blackwell got ready to pitch again, and the umpire thought it was a little too quick, so he slowed him down. So it's 3-2. Swing and a miss, got him on strikes. The runner is caught between second and third. The throw goes down to Centeno. He runs the runner back to Darren Eels, who's going to dish it over to third. The tag is made. No, and he's knocked out of the fielder's glove at third base. And he is safe. So we came into Blackwell was covering, and the runner went into Blackwell hard. He didn't slide. He really just kind of ran into him, knocked the ball out of his hands, and he is ruled safe at third. And a little bit of an altercation out there, but the umpire right in the middle of it, keeping Blackwell away from the runner. That is Cochran, who had nothing else. He got caught in a rundown and just went in hard at third base and knocked the ball out of the glove of Julian Blackwell, who's picked up his glove, and now it looks like he might be leaving the field. Let's see. Now the umpires and Coach Jay is out there talking to C. Stones. Did you have another aspect, another angle on this one?
It's not that I had another aspect or angle, but, Julian got into the base path and was there to apply that tag when it needed to be applied. The runner that was in the rundown tried to run through Julian, and I believe Julian took some exception to that, and that's what's actually being discussed here. The ball did come out of Julian's glove, so the call on the field is safe.
Yeah, the call, he's safe at third base.
At third, but I believe there might be some discussions in regards to, was this one of those plays in which the contact was created and the ball came out because of that contact?
Yeah, I definitely think that's what it was.
And that can be overruled by the umpire.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself.
That event. So I believe that's what they're referring to. That's what they're talking about right now. They're out on the floor or out on the field. And it looks like the temperature's come down just a little bit.
Yeah,
so
a little
that's
bit.
A good thing.
But that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I know that when you run into someone with the sole purpose of dislodging, and now I don't know if the rules are the same on every level, but that's definitely what he did. Now, whether the umpires are now continuing to talk about, I assume that's what they're talking about, unless there's some sort of if Julian was ejected from the game for any reason, because it was hot and heavy there for a couple seconds. I mean, it didn't last very long. The umpires got in there and got involved in it and insinuated themselves in there and cut that down from anything else going on.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if Julian, before that happened, had already either said something or done something that got him, because he walked away and he looked a little bit dejected about perhaps being ejected. So we'll have to wait and see, as Coach Jay is talking to both of the umpires right now, and everybody's just kind of congregating on the field. The strikeout was called the strike 3 on Navarez. He is out. So there's 2 outs, and then the runner was caught in a rundown and ran through the tag at third base, as Stones very aptly described it.
And you can kind of see, right? I apologize for interrupting you. I did not mean to do that, but you can kind of see what Coach Jay is actually referring to. He keeps pointing back to the base and saying, "My guy was here," and I do believe that that's what he's trying to convey. That point is that my guy was there with the ball. The contact is what created that ball to come out. Mm-hmm. This isn't football, so this isn't something that you can go back and throw a flag and look at. So, and I believe that's what he's trying to.
The only thing I would push back on it again. That was obviously what happened.
Yes,
and for him
yes.
to not have called it in the first place when he could definitely see that's what happened leads me to believe that there's something else at play here, and maybe that is not a hard and fast rule because, yes, the way you described it is actually exactly how it happened, and you could see it from here that he was trying to knock the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious. That's why I thought it would have been called right away had that been the call the umpire wanted to make. And the fact that, as you mentioned, Coach Jay, or as you call him, Doug,
Sorry.
as he's out there, the fact that he's out there trying
Yeah.
to, he's still talking leads me to believe that that's not what's going to transpire, and the runner's going to be put back at third base.
I have a feeling they're going to call it incidental contact, and we know that that's not incidental contact.
That's exactly my point.
So-
That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll find the umpire of the game and ask him if he knows what incidental means. Maybe I'll do that. But they're still chatting it up. It looks like I don't see Cochran out there at third base. He probably came back over to talk to his coach in front of their dugout. And the other thing is that Blackwell is ejected, which it looks like he is. We're going to go ahead and have a new pitcher. And Stones, that means he's going to have, I think,
As much time as he
I
needs.
think so. I don't know if it's the same as an injury because it might not be considered that, but I think he's going to have as much time as he wants to get ready. So in that case, let's just step back for a second and reset it. We're at 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Falcons are leading this one 10-0. We'll be back with the identity of that new pitcher right after this on American River College YouTubes and Stones Radio Networks.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We'd love to see you.
Oh, I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. Personally, the most rewarding part is about eating it. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers. American River.
Beat by DJ Stones.
Now back to the Phantom right here on Stones Radio Network.
So we are back in the top of the 8th. Josh Heinkel is the new pitcher. He takes over for Julian Blackwell. We are not sure. We're going to find out in the middle of the inning here whether Julian was ejected or just was removed from the game. But Josh Heinkel is now the new pitcher. Josh is making his 12th appearance of the season. He's pitched 14 innings for the Beavers, a 9.64 ERA. The left-hander is up here against J.T. Walden with runners at second and third and 2 outs here in the 8th. First pitch is outside. JT is 3 for 5 in this one. He's driven in fourth, hit a 2-run home run way back in the first inning, which, as Stone said in his mid-game report, kind of set the tone for this one as he hit that 2-run home run right over the 390 mark in center field. 375 coming in for JT. He takes that one in there for a strike from Josh Henkel. Josh is a sophomore out of Intercom High School. Big left-hander against the left-hander J.T. Walden, who came into the game at 375, has picked up his 8th home run of the game and has 4 RBIs, which pushes that total up to 43 for J.T. That's a ground ball into right field for a base hit. Here comes the first runner. He's going to score, picked up out in right field, and the runner at third is going to hold at third base. That is Catalano. So scoring is Cochran. Catalano goes to third base. JT picks up his 5th RBI of the game and 4th hit. 11-0, and that brings up Logan Sutter. So Cochran, the pinch hitter, scores. Catalano is held at third base. And here's Sutter, who has doubled and has a sacrifice fly in this one, and he lines that one down the left field line, and that one is foul down the left field line. See, the umpire yelled foul that time. Another time he didn't yell foul. That was a long time ago. I know nobody cares anymore about that. We've had a lot of stuff go on since then, so that's lost. We got Black Sabbath. We got babies. We got ejections, maybe. We don't know. We got poor umpires getting hit by pass balls and wild pitches like it's going out of style, and maybe even a foul ball here and there. Walden leads at first base. Catalano over at third. 1-1 pitch coming to Sutter. In the dirt, and there we go. Nice block by Herford on that one. Keeps runners where they are. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nate Vargas on deck. He's had 3 hits today as well for the Falcons. Vargas, Walden, and Sutter all picking up runs batted in. They're in the top 5 of the Big 8 Conference in that category. 2-1 pitch. In the dirt again, 3-1. 2-1, 3-1. It's one of those two. It cannot be 4-1. That's fouled down the left field line. A sharp line drive by Sutter. And we'll call it 2-2 because the umpires are really good about looking up at the scoreboard. And if they don't see the count they like, they'll let you know. And there it is right there. So it's 2-2. I wonder if he has an earpiece and he's listening to the broadcast, maybe on the Mixler app, because he probably search Stones Radio Networks. 2-2 coming to Sutter. It is outside 3-2. All you got to do is he's just got to have a little transistor in his pocket. Download the app, Mixler app, search Stones Radio Networks. Just key into the game today and find out what we're saying about him. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Got him on strikes. So 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Falcons 11-0.
Now back to the action right here on Stones Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th, 11-0 Falcons. Dylan Warren out for his second inning of work in relief of Cameron Sasso. His first inning was the 7th. It went about as well as he can get. 3 straight strikeouts. He'll face Dylan Herford, then the top of the order, Dominic Ott and Rylan Druck here in the 8th. Beavers with 4 hits in this one, all 4 off Sasso in his 6 innings of work. He struck out 9. Cameron looking to go 4-0 on the season. And here's Warren's first pitch, and it is high for a ball to Dylan Herford, who struck out twice in this one, so he is 0 for 2. A freshman out of El Camino High School. Left-hander delivers inside, pushes Herford back, so it's 2-0. Dylan Warren, a freshman out of Oak Ridge High School. That's down low inside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on Dylan. Dominic Ott, who's got a couple of singles in this one, he is on deck. Actually, it's not. That's Marcus Babata on deck to bat for Dominic. I guess I should have looked before I said that. 3-0 pitch misses outside, so a 4-pitch walk to Dylan Herford. He's down at first base. And here's Marcus Babata. So Marcus hitting for Dominic Ott, who's going to end today with a 2-4-3, and there's a meeting at the mound as the walk by Dylan Warren to open up the 8th inning. So Marcus Babata, the left-handed hitter, coming out of St. Mary's High School, just a freshman, coming up here against Dylan Warren. Marcus hitting at 145 on the season. 8 hits for 55 at bats. He has 1 run batted in. And we are ready to go as the meeting has been broken up. Very quickly, thank you there, umpire. And here's Babata. Left-hander against left-hander with Herford at first base. Right down the middle for a strike. So whatever they said, Dylan Warren took heed and throws the first pitch right down the middle to Marcus Babata. 0-1. Next pitch, outside corner, call strike 2. 0-2 to Marcus Babata. Herford at first, nobody out here in the 8th. Check swing, a job checking it as the breaking ball finishes outside. So it is 1-2 now on Marcus. That is just a little bit outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Word from the dugout, Julian Blackwell was ejected for slapping down at the runner after the play was already over. And I'm going to just assume that that was kind of a reaction to the umpire, the runner slapping at him and trying to knock the ball out of his hands. Which I think he put Julian in a very bad position. That's chopped out towards second base. You're going to have to hurry. Babata is down as Navarez puts it underhand over to first base to get Babata at first base. Moving to second is Herford. And here's Rylan Druck. Yeah, that's kind of a tough situation because the runner comes in and knocks the ball out of your hands. And then you get dinged for reacting to that, which, as Stones and I were talking about, you know, you go in there with the sole purpose of dislodging the ball, then that at this level it's considered a dead play. At least that's what I thought. Obviously not, because the umpire did not make that call, and he was talking to Coach Jay for a long time about it. First pitch is outside to Rylan Druck. Rylan is grounded out twice and walked, so he is 0 for 2. That one is right down the middle. Josh Heinkel is on deck as he came in to pitch and took over Julian Blackwell's spot in the order. So he is on deck, the left-handed hitter. That's hit down the first base line foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We've talked a couple of times about the Lincoln Potters. We do those games in the summer. If you want to check out Lincoln Potters action, you can always come out, of course, to McBean Park in Lincoln, or that's spelled out of play. You know, if you subscribe to the Stones Radio Network's YouTube page, then anytime the Lincoln Potters go live, you can go ahead and follow along and watch action. Stones and I will be there. It'll be a lot of fun. Or LincolnPotters.com. Check that out as well. So a lot of ways for you to get involved in action. A lot of fun to come out on a. Here's a ball hit out towards shortstop. DiGiorno has it across the diamond and gets struck at first base. Rowland hit it sharply, but right at the shortstop. And moving on over to third is Herforth. 2 outs, runner at third, and it brings up Heinkel. Julian Blackwell was 1 for 3 while he was in there, and now Heinkel. Coach Jay has explained to the umpire exactly what's going on. I've already figured it out. Potters have had a lot of community college players over the past couple of years, past couple of summers, so you check it out. You might see some familiar faces, even a couple, I think, from AR in the past, and Sierra as well. And I think the coach just said, hey, come on up. Well, let Josh bat, will you? So Heinkel steps in here against the left-hander Dylan Warren. Runner at third and 2 outs here in the 8th. First pitch is just a little bit too low, so it's 1-0. Wyatt Balke scheduled on deck, but that looks like maybe Christian Ristori over there. I'll have to get a number. Does not look like Wyatt. Yeah, Christian Ristori. That's in there for a strike. 1-1 on Josh Heinkel. Runner at third, 2 outs here in the 8th. That's in the dirt. Nice job by Bicknell behind the plate to stop that one from going back to the backstop. 2-1 on Josh Heinkel. LincolnPotters.com, as Stone says, for checking that action. Now come on out to McBean Park. Check out the Potters in person. It's a lot of fun. That is in there for a strike, 2-2. And you can come up to the press box, ask for Stones McCoy. He'll tell you the best vendors to solicit. Man, I'll tell you, he'll even take you for a small fee, but he'll take you and show you the incredible food and drink they have out there each and every night. 2-2 pitch just misses the corner, and Dylan Warren had already strode off to head out to his dugout, and he has to go back on the mound. You see infielders do that a lot. You don't see the pitcher do that a lot. I think Dylan felt that was a very choice pitch there. 3-2 coming up. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. No runs and 1 left. We go to the 9th. Falcons 11, Beavers nothing.
listening to coverage of ARC Athletics on Stones Radio Networks.
Welcome back to the top of the ninth. Falcons lead it 11-0. Josh Heinkel out on the mound. I think we might have a pinch hitter. Stones McCoy tells me number 2 coming to the plate, Jacob Elias. Hitting for Nate Vargas here. So Elias steps in to bat for Nate Vargas, who had himself a pretty tremendous day with 3 hits, an RBI, was 3 for 5. There's Elias. First pitch is in the dirt from Josh Heinkel. Jacob is a sophomore from Bradshaw Christian. Vargas with 2 runs batted in, puts his total up to 42 on the season. Swing and a miss by Elias. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jacob 13 of 46 on the season, 283 average. He check swings that one down the left field line out of play, so it is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Heinkel from the stretch position. 1-2 pitch is hit out into center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit in front of Marcus Bavado, who's taken over out in center field. So Elias delivers a single. He is down at first base. And I think we've got another pinch hitter. So it is Drake DiGiorno still in the game. So DiGiorno's still in there. Tried to get a pinch hitter in there for him, but I'm sorry, Drake, my bad. That's in there for a strike. 0-1. That one's outside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Elias over at first base. That just misses outside. 2-1. So Colton Doherty on deck to hit for Wyatt Reginato. That's high and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike now. Three and 1 on Giorno. He had 3 walks, a sacrifice, and grounded to third. That's hit well into left field. That's a base hit. Down in front out there, picked up by Balke. Gets it back into the infield, but DiGiorno gets himself a base hit. Second hit of the inning for the Falcons, and here's Colton Doherty. The sophomore from Pleasant Valley will come on to hit for Reginato. So Doherty comes in to hit. Runners at first and second. Doherty 8 for 24, so 333 average for the sophomore. Sails high and outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. One 0 pitch on the way. High ball. So Elias came on, pinch hitter singled to open the inning, then a single for DiGiorno, and now Colton Doherty at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes on the right-handed outfielder. He watches that one go outside, so it's 3-0. Drake Bignell, the catcher, on deck. 3 balls, no strikes. 2 on, nobody out here in the ninth. 16 hits for the Falcons in this one. 3-0 pitch on the inside corner with the fastball from Josh Heinkel. 3 balls and 1 strike. These two teams meeting again on Thursday in Folsom. Back here, 1 o'clock on Saturday to conclude the series. 3-1 coming up. Outside, ball 4. So Doherty gets the base on balls. He's down at first base, moving DiGiorno to second and Elias to third. The bases are loaded, and here's Drake McNell, the catcher. He has singled, flied out, popped out, and hit into a fielder's choice and been hit by a pitch. So Drake is 1 for 4 in this one. Singled back in the 6th inning, right back up the middle. Breaking ball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes on Drake McNell. That's it sharply out towards shortstop, handled by Eels over to second for 1. They turn it to first base in the dirt and gets away from Morrell. A run's going to score. So an RBI for McNell. Hits into the fielder's choice. The air is going to be on the second baseman. That's Ryland Druck. Scoring is Elias, and then scoring on the air is DiGiorno. 1 run batted in for McNell. He ends up at second base. Or actually, he stayed at first base, so he's still at first base. 2 runs in, and now 1 out. And here is Cochran. High for a ball. Cochran came on for Griffith back in the 8th inning and walked. So Caden Knapp is warming up for the Falcons. That's in there for a strike. The right-hander, the freshman out of Vista Del Lago, throwing down there in the pen. As Cochran, who was hitting, as we said, came on in the 8th and walked and scored. He is up here again. Another breaking ball. That's line down the right field line, but foul. And slicing over the first baseman's head down the line. And just missed being fair by a couple of feet. So 2 strikes now on Cochran. Chris Catalano, the top of the order on deck. 2 runs in, 1 out. That's in there. Call strike 3. Michael gets the second out of the inning on the strikeout of Cochran. 2-way. Still down at first base is McNell, and here's Chris Catalano. Walked in the first, tripled in the second, singled in the third, then walked in the 5th, struck out in the 6th, and reached on an error in the 8th. So a couple hits for Catalano, 2 for 4 with a couple of walks so far in this one. Fouls that one back to the screen. 0-1. Oscar Navarez on deck, who came on for Andrew Neal back in the 8th inning. Two outs, 1 on here in the 9th. In the dirt with a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Catalano, the sophomore right fielder from Folsom High School, waits the 1-1, and it's high for a ball, 2-1. Sharply hit out to the left to shortstop. Eels has it. He's going to backhand flip to second base for the force. Nice play by Darren Eels to end the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's Folsom 13, the Beavers nothing.
American River College is a top-tier community college sports program that provides student athletes with the opportunity to thrive both athletically and academically. ARC Athletics is currently ranked 5th in the state and 2nd in Northern California. With over 19 sports programs, our athletes compete with the region's best athletes. Our diverse and dedicated coaching staff helps athletes develop the skills necessary to compete at the next level. Start your community college athletics journey with us. American River College, Sacramento's best athletic program. Go Beavers.
Here at Super Taco, we specialize in authentic Mexican food. One of the reasons we are different from other places is that we make everything from scratch. You get a great value when you come here, large portions and quality food. Our most popular dishes are many different kind of tacos. We have giant burritos, different kinds of enchiladas, and the fajita. If you're ready for real Mexican food, stop in at a Super Taco. We'd love to see you.
I love baking. I've been doing it my whole life. Grateful Bread was started because I needed the job. Personally, the most rewarding part is about eating it. It always used to seem like bread was just an afterthought, and which was always kind of disappointing. But now, as not only people, foodies and people eating, they're expecting better quality, and people notice it, they can see it.
Now back to the booth right here on Stones Radio Networks.
Caden Knapp, the new pitcher for Folsom Lake College. The freshman out of Vista Del Lago, the right-hander, will face Wyatt Balke, Jonas Diaz, and Jake Morrell. 4, 5, and 6 in the order here in the bottom of the ninth for American River. Caden Knapp making his 8th appearance of the season, 9 2/3 innings. 6.52 ERA, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks for Caden, who's out here to try to close this one up, as it is a 13-0 lead for the Falcons as they look to go 26-9 on the season and 14-8 in Big 8 conference play with just the 2 games remaining against American River. And here's Christian Ristori coming out to hit for Balke. So Christian, right-handed hitter. Freshman out of Whitney comes up against Knapp. Fastball is in there for a strike on 1. No balls, 1 strike. Story 3 for 20 on the season. Takes that one in the dirt for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike on Christian. Diaz on deck, and then Jake Morrell in the lineup. Hit up in the air right side. Everybody giving chase. Looks like it's going to end up in foul territory, and nobody can get there. Catalano was on his horse, almost got there from medium deep right field, or straightaway right field, but couldn't get there. So Christian Ristori comes back and will do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beavers with 4 hits in this one, all those off Sasso. Warren went 2 innings, gave up no hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. So Ristori is out on strikes, and that'll bring up Jonas Diaz with 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth. Diaz has struck out twice and grounded out to second base, so he is 0 for 3. All 3 of those are against Cameron Sasso, the starter, who will improve to 4-0 on the season. Knapp's first pitch is fouled into the catcher's glove off speed pitch, 0-1 on Diaz. Jonas, a freshman from Folsom, came in at 194 today with 7 runs batted in. Jake Morrell to follow. Pass ball, catches the outside corner, called strike 2, 0-2 on Jonas. Oh and 2, here's Knapp from the stretch. Fouled back to the screen by Diaz. Caden Knapp listed as pitcher and first base, a freshman out of Vista del Lago. Trying to close this one out for the Falcons and improve them to 26-9 on the year. And more importantly, get them another win in Big 8 conference play. Chopped over toward first base, handled by J.T. Walden. He's going to take it himself and trots over and steps on the bag for the second out of the inning. So 2 outs, 1 more left for the Beavers. It's Jake Morrell coming up to the plate. Jake has struck out twice and flied out deep to center field. First 2 of those were off Sasso. The second strikeout was Dylan Warren. And the left-hander steps in to face Caden Knapp here. First pitch is hit high up in the air towards center field. Moving in is Cochran, and he makes the catch for the third out, and that's the ball game. So our final score on this one: Folsom Lake wins it 13-0 over the Beavers. Folsom Lake improves to 14-8 in conference play and 26-9 overall. These 2 teams will meet again on Thursday in Folsom, and then, as we said, on Saturday back here at 1 p.m. We will be back in action on Saturday over at the softball field, the Becky Russ Field. We'll be doing a doubleheader between Folsom Lake softball and American River College. On behalf of Stones McCoy and myself, Mark the Phantom Lowe, we thank you for watching American River College baseball on YouTube. Please subscribe, become part of the ARC YouTube family, and we'll see you next time.